All right, and we are live here Wednesday night, October 19th at MTGCardmarket on the north side of Chicago, bringing you 4 more rounds of amazing Modern action. I'm here with my co-caster, Dan Dwan, as we, commentate some Modern, but also talk about some developments that have happened in Magic recently. We just had the Pro Tour. It was amazing. Some people lost by decking in the finals, which is, every Control player's dream. But we also saw some, the emergence of some really powerful decks like Aetherworks, Marvel, among other things. So we'll definitely get into the Pro Tour stuff. And also today, Wizards had a relatively large announcement that we'll discuss as well.
Right, the new change, the reversion back to the old standard rotation. Pretty significant in terms of both like accessibility for standard players as well as...
I can't print, it keeps crashing where if I try to print.
Okay.
Make a match.
Vince.
So, no printing.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
so can you get Vince and whoever he's playing against?
Vincent?
Vincent and
Okay.
whoever's, yeah. All right.
Alright, and just getting a match on for you guys right now. We can throw it down to the player now.
Yeah, most certainly. All right, so as we see 2 players shuffling up here, Vince is going to be on the left. Vince is going to be on the left here. We will have to send someone out to see who his opponent is because our pairing system is currently in slight disarray. But yeah, so we're going to have Vincent Adinolfi on the left. He's a shop regular, but tonight he's playing something very different than normal. Tonight, Vince, instead of playing his trustworthy blue-red, is playing Jund. He has indeed succumbed to the Jund side. Yeah, so we'll see how he does on that deck. And on the right, Dan is going to find out what exactly is going on there. Start the round timer. All right. So, yep. We will see. It looks like there's a basic planes in that deck. Might be Paul. No, he's playing some... No, not Paul. Yeah, so both players going to roll up, and we will get underway in just a moment. Might be... Yeah, so I'm currently unsure about who's playing what, but we'll get into this momentarily, bring you some Modern action. Alright, things keep falling off the doors back here, but okay, it might be Martin. So Vince on Jund. Yeah, that's Martin. Okay. Right player. And Martin, from talking to him earlier in the day, Martin is on Emeria, and I guess we're going to see some of that as Vince starts off with a turn 1 Blackcleave into Inquisition of Kozilek. He's going to see a hand of 3 lands, Detention Sphere, Ruined Halo,
In the main.
Yeah. Path to Exile, and Wall of Omens. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with the deck, Martin is playing Emeria, the Sky Ruin. This is his big late-game value engine. Bring it up here.
Right, so the payoff cards are Maria and Sun Titan, which can recur pretty much anything else in this deck.
Yeah. So basically what Martin's going to try to do is he's going to get an Emeria into play with 7 planes, and every turn he's going to return a creature to the battlefield, get a bunch of ETB triggers, draw a bunch of cards, and ultimately outvalue the fair decks, such as the one that Vincent is playing.
So Vincent's got an interesting choice here. Rune Halo, obviously the worst choice, but... depending on what he wants to do, he's going to take the Wall of Roots, which allows him to, Wall of Omens, which allows him to attack with any number of 2-drops he decides to play. Path to Exile, not really the most exciting form of removal, in that it ramps your opponent. But Vince is going to play a 3/4 Goyf here, and this is really going to demand a response. Naman, just by the hand that we saw, has a couple of options. He can play Ruined Halo and name Tarmogoyf.
I mean, if Vince has another Goyf in hand, that's super good.
Right. Martin can also wait for Detention Sphere, although Detention Sphere is pretty taxed because that can also hit stuff like Liliana and
Yeah.
whatnot.
The other thing with Detention Sphere is that you risk getting an Abrupt Decade and then surprise there's a Goyf on you again.
Right.
I think he. I'm surprised. I was. Maybe we should have Path and turn 1. Okay. Martin has a Saheeli Rai in his deck. He may be playing the Saheeli Rai combo with Sun Titan. So, do you know how that works, Dan?
No, go.
Okay. So there's an infinite combo with Saheeli Rai and Sun Titan. It works such that if you have a Saheeli Rai on the battlefield and a Sun Titan on the battlefield and a Saheeli Rai in your graveyard, what you do is you minus your Saheeli Rai to your Sun Titan. Your Sun Titan, the copy enters, right? The copy triggers. You get the Saheeli Rai in your graveyard back. You legend rule the one you've already used to the graveyard. Then you use the second, so you just loop them infinitely forever.
And then you get a bajillion Sun Titans.
Yes, it's basically the twin combo.
Yeah, a little harder to set up.
Hey, that's not that big of a deal, I think. But yeah, no. So that's the combo with Sun Titan. It's a little bit silly, but like, who is gonna see it coming? That's what I want to know.
Sure. So Martin does decide to path the Goyf.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at Vincent's hand, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of action. We see a Bolt, a Dreadbore.
Yeah, none of these are good against what Martin's got going on.
Well,
I guess the Dreadbore's excellent, but
the Dreadbore conveniently get this.
plays the Saheeli Rai, and Vince is like, what's going on in this game of Magic? But he's going to plus, and Vince is going to take a damage, and Martin is going to scry. So we'll pull up Saheeli Rai in just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
New Planeswalker from Kaladesh.
Yeah, Martin sees a Emeria and decides to keep it out top. So Vincent definitely getting a little flooded here.
Yeah. The Dreadbore, though, will be enough to get that Saheeli Rai off the battlefield, thank goodness. And a 3-drop, he's going to play a Finks.
Mm-hmm.
Going to go to 18, too. Finks is pretty alright here.
Yeah, Finks is fine. Like, the Path to Exile's out of the way already.
Yeah. Martin is going to play a Lone Missionary, sort of a staple card for these Emeria decks. Gaining 4 life on ETB is quite powerful when you're just trying to grind the game out and have it go longer. Yeah, so we'll bring up Lone Missionary on the side here. It will get bolted so that Vince can start beating with the Finks, but...
So looking at Martin's hand, he does have a Sun Titan in hand.
Jeez.
Which is, pretty good paired with the Flicker Wisp also in hand.
Alright, so Ruined Halo is going to hit the battlefield. Ruined Halo, another sort of weird card, but, seems to be doing just fine here. Basically, you name a card, you have protection from that card, and that's basically it. So that's going to come down. Vince on his turn, though, is going to follow up with a Pulse and a swing from the Finks. So that's a good play for Vince, and he has a Raging Ravine here.
Right. Now, one thing to know is the way Vince tapped, he's not representing Abrupt Decay anymore.
Right.
Which is, a minor thing, but...
Sure. So yeah, Detention Sphere will swallow up the Kitchen Finks. Vince will take a draw step. And yeah, I think that here, barring some action in his hand, you just fire that baby up, right?
You just fire off the, Ravine. The Ravine will conveniently be exactly a 3-turn clock.
Yes. Vince gonna fetch here first.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna go to 17.
Right. So there's only one basic left in the deck.
And it's not fetchable with Foothill, so he's gonna have to shock.
Right. Then that's not the worst thing in the world either, because Martin's playing a deck with Path to Exiles.
Right.
And having Path to Exile fail to find always feels kind of bad.
Sure. Yep. Gonna tie it up at 15 with the shock there. Yeah, so the question really is, can Martin hit his 6th land drop before the Ravine goes too crazy?
Right. And, he's only one shot right now.
Yeah. So, I think it's not unlikely that that happens. Swing from Vince, trigger, counter goes on the Ravine.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you get a chance to see what is in Vincent's hand?
I have not.
Oh, a Bob. Okay. A Bob.
That's a pretty good follow-up there. This will hopefully let Vince draw some more cards and try to close the game out.
Mm-hmm. So this is a very crucial draw step for Martin here. If he can find the 6th land, play the Emeria, we're in pretty good shape.
Play the Sun Titan.
Play the Sun Titan, excuse me.
Yeah.
In pretty good shape here.
Yeah. Yeah, and so we'll have to see what happens. I'm not sure that I'm not sure what else if he doesn't hit his land drop. I think he has a Flicker Wisp in hand, which can take a counter off the Ravine, which is kind of nice. But draw step is going to be a Path to Exile, so
Also, not the worst thing in the world.
yeah. I mean, you can Flicker Wisp you can like play Flicker Wisp as a blocker and hit the Ravine with it, or you can just Path the Ravine. The question is whether Martin wants to let Vincent draw this card with Bob or not.
Right. I mean, I would be inclined to save the path for the Ravine.
Sure.
Just because the Ravine is actually going to kill you.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas Bob is annoying, but won't actually.
Oh, Martin is going to Flicker Wisp his Detention Sphere, give Vince back the Finks.
Mm-hmm.
Vince is going to get a trigger, go up to 17 life.
Right, and then once Martin gets this Detention Sphere back, he can
Get the
move it on to Bob.
Yeah. So now Martin has a path up for either the Ravine or the Finks and the Flicker Wisp to block something. And Vince doesn't get to draw the extra card from Bob, which is quite good here.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ravine gets activated. And here we go. So Vince, last card, gonna bolt the Flicker Wisp out of the game. And swing. Path targets a Ravine. So, Martin gonna go to 7, but if Martin at any point draws a land, he just wins. Or not doesn't just win, but he gets to play a Sun Titan, which is more than Vince has the capability to deal with at the moment.
Right.
I don't think he drew it, though. I think he has another Flicker Wisp.
Yeah, and the Sun Titan can do a lot. The Sun Titan can get back the Flicker Wisp, the D-Sphere, can get a Low Missionary, can get a Sahili to get, just attack
To get another Sun Titan,
Yeah.
Like, even just Sahili minus on a Sun Titan is so much value because you get the Titan, you get the 6-power attacker, plus another trigger.
Plus another trigger, a permanent trigger.
Right. Flicker Wisp again.
Mm-hmm.
Martin gonna target his own planes.
Yes, so it effectively only costs 2.
Oh, sure.
It doesn't really do much, but he doesn't really have any better targets, so
Agreed.
might as well.
All right. So, see if Vince's Finks is enough to get there. He's gonna swing. I think Martin might want to block.
Yeah, this.
Yeah, that's fine. Vince's gonna go to 19.
Right. There's no reason not to. Martin's just really, just trying to buy a turn.
Oh.
This Scavenging Ooze is brutal, though.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, Vincent only has 2 green sources, but
That doesn't. He can eat whatever the Titan targets.
right. So
Jeez. That's so good here.
it's quite good.
Martin again missing on a land drop, too.
No, he
He
found
found
it.
the land, but it's not untapped. So Vince here gonna start scoozing things. This is so good here. Oh my goodness.
So what is he going to eat?
I think he just ate.
Presumably, he's going to eat 2 creatures here.
Yeah, he does have 2 counters. Vince up to 21 now. So now Vince can actually, I think, outgrow the Sun Titan.
Well,
Okay, gonna miss, but that's fine.
and if there's is there another creature?
There has to be. He can eat his own Bob.
The Bob is exiled right now.
Oh,
Doesn't look like there's another creature. So Martin is going to go to 1 unless they can find a creature. And it doesn't look like there is.
wow, that's actually kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, Martin can go to 1.
Vince going to remove. Oh no.
Oh,
He just ate the wall.
he just okay. So this is just lethal here.
No, it looks like Martin somehow is still only at 1. Vince has him going from 9 to 1 there. So it's possible that we missed some extra life somewhere along the line. But so the thing is now though that Martin is going to cast the Sun Titan. He's going to get a trigger. Vince is going to eat whatever he targets, and then
just swing for lethal on the next.
yeah,
turn.
because Martin's going to scoop it up. So Jund taking down game 1 against what appears to be Jeskai Ameria, which I will update this to.
I think the red splash might just be for Sahili though.
Sure.
I didn't see any other red cards.
Okay, we'll call it Sahili Ameria.
Sure.
But yeah, so Scavenging Ooze is a really good Magic card.
When Scavenging Ooze is good, it is absurd.
And against a graveyard-based like recursion deck such as this one, just out of this world.
All you can hope for.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're Vince here, and you have, say, like Graph Digger's Cage in your sideboard, is that something that you bring in against this Ameria deck?
If you think you're going to be going super late,
Yeah.
you can bring it in. Mm-hmm. It feels bad to bring in such reactive cards, especially when their engine is so slow.
Sure.
Right? You're not worried about collecting company on turn 3. You're not worried about getting core corded out. But like that is the win con for this deck. If Sun Titan in of itself is not that threatening.
Right. Like Sun Titan, you have a lot of outs too. You can terminate it. You can pulse it. There's a lot of things that you can do. And so, like, if they're not getting value off the Sun Titan...
Or the Emeria.
Yeah. Gibbous M, excellent suggestion in the chat here. America. Wow.
Ooh.
That is
saucy.
That's quite good. Might have to do some overlay. There we go. Yeah, so... America here, down a game against Jund. I mean, obviously, Jund doing Jund things and, you know, having excellent cards off the top. That Scavenging Ooze just like... If he doesn't have the Scoos, I think Martin just wins again.
Yeah, I mean, Vincent did have a lot of live draws there.
Yeah. He usually draws Bolton.
Right. Any Liliana was good.
Yeah.
Because it makes you just discard your Sun Titan.
Sure.
Thoughtseize was good. But, yeah, I mean... Martin was getting a little bit unlucky not finding the 6th land in time.
Yeah.
But, like, his draw wasn't unreasonable, right?
He had a lot of interaction.
Yeah, he had multiple Path to Exiles.
Mm-hmm.
He had a D-Sphere, Rune Halo. Like, all of this is just, like, reasonable removal.
Yeah. That's absolutely for sure. So, we will, we'll see what happens game 2. If you're Jund here, you know, what are you thinking about bringing in out of the board? Like, what's good?
So Graph Diggers is pretty reasonable.
Okay.
Other cards you might have access to. Thrun is not a terrible choice, especially when your opponent is presumably playing Supreme Verdicts.
Sure.
Or boarding into some number. Also,
Yeah.
the Hexproof is, you know, quite good.
It's fine, yeah.
You have the option of having, you know, bringing in Slaughter Games if you really want to be going super long.
I mean, if you cast Slaughter Games, you just name Sun Titan, right? And then they have a real problem with recursion.
Right, but again, it doesn't shut off the Emeria.
Right.
So, like, bringing in some number of Fulminators is also fine.
Yeah, Fulminator seems quite good, actually.
Right.
Like, you can either just kill their Emeria straight out, or you can keep their planes count down if they have, like, more than one Emeria or whatever. Sure,
and, like, hit a Hallowed Fountain or something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, Fulminator seems fine. In the main deck, like Kitchen Finks, not doing a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
You even have the option of like shaving some number of bolts.
Yeah, that seems. I mean, bolting Emeria creatures doesn't feel great most of the time.
I mean, the creatures are so poor already. Like you bolted a 2/1 Lone Missionary.
Yeah.
Which would usually get outclassed by other creatures, anyways.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are some stuff that can kind of come out. Effectively, Jund almost always gets better post board just because you're playing such a fair game 1 that you almost certainly have dead cards.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. Martin's sideboard looks like he might have taken out some number of Saheeli Rise. Also seeing a bunch of Meddling Mages in there, which I expect is for like combo matchups where you just lose the game to, like, you know, if you name Adnos with a Meddling Mage.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Seems alright.
But yeah, against Jund, what would you even name, right? In the dark, there's just so many targets.
Right, and the other thing with Meddling Mage against Jund is just like it dies to everything, right? Like
exactly.
You can't. It's not.
It actually dies to everything.
Yeah. No 1-power creatures running around unless it's a tiny Goyf. So, yeah, these players are gonna go to game 2 here. Again, Jund up a game after drawing that Scoos very, very late and just smashing with it. Man, it gets so big too. You're just like, oh yeah, just like Scoos 3 or 4 things now have a 6/6, right?
A lot of people like hype up how good Goyf is, but like if the game has gone super long, Scavenging Ooze is just, I mean, arguably better. It gets bigger.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Yeah, no, Goyf versus Scoos in the late game is just, oh wow, the Scoos is gonna win.
Right. Importantly, it also interacts very well with, you know, against stuff like Snapcaster, against.
Yeah, when as we saw, like with Martin, he cast a Sun Titan, he targeted a card, and Vince just ate it. He was like, get out of here.
And it's just incidentally good against a lot of things. A lot of times people will have like Call Guns commands, sometimes they'll be playing Dredge.
For sure.
It's the incidental, like, this card is amazing, is really where it shines.
The fact, it hates well, but it also just beats.
Yeah, and like, you know, there's a ton of decks playing main deck Kitchen Finks just as good value creature.
Mhm.
Well, this kind of shuts off a lot of that nonsense.
For sure. This
You can eat the Kitchen Finks with a persist on the stack.
Scavenging Ooze is one of the rare cards that actually started out as a commander card, and then they printed it in standard later.
Yeah, I believe that's true.
Yeah, it came out in one of the commander sets, and people were like, "Oh wow, like this card should exist for everybody instead of just in Legacy and Commander." And they printed it, and it was, predictably nuts.
Yeah, it was printed in a format full of Snapcasters and Lingering Souls.
Yeah,
Unburial Rites.
Unburial Rites especially. Wow,
Yeah.
eat your stuff. In response to your Unburial Rites, and Vince gonna have the turn 1 Inquisition here. Sees a Wall of Omens, a Pilgrim's Eye, and a Detention Sphere, and the Wall is gonna predictably bite the dust.
Right.
Vince, I think, does very highly value Wall of Omens, considering most of the time he's playing one.
Right.
But it also means that Martin doesn't have a turn 2 play.
Exactly. And also, it's just such an excellent blocker. It can end
Yeah.
up saving you a ton of life.
Absolutely. I think Martin might have drawn a path here. He's gonna play a Hallowed Fountain tapped, so we go back to Vince's turn.
Right. Path an excellent draw here. He can
Absolutely.
answer anything.
Yeah.
He
Vince
also
gonna
has
fetch.
He also has the option of next turn just playing the D-Sphere on something he's scared of.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this Emiria deck, once it, he'll cast Pilgrim's Eye, and, that'll do something. Eventually, you draw to it just eventually.
But yeah, so
and Vince has the Scoos here, but this is not a, the Scoos here obviously not as amazing as it was in the previous game, because Martin still has removal, and, alright, so the Pilgrim's Eye is going to come down. Gonna search up a basic land. Here, we'll pull that up here. Recently reprinted.
Yeah, kind of a standard all-star. It's kind
A
of
standard staple. I'm not sure it's an all-star. It's quite good in the Emerge decks, though.
Right,
I will not doubt that.
This curves perfectly into pretty much all the emerge nonsense.
Yeah.
Because most of it comes out at 7.
Sure. Yeah, Elder Deep Fiend sacking a Pilgrim's Eye. You're not even sad that you lost a card, right?
No, and I mean also powers Delirium.
Yeah. Okay, and so Vince gonna attack here. Martin gonna go to 18.
So Martin did also draw a Supreme Verdict last turn, which is going to be pretty good if Vincent decides to go wide.
For sure. So he's gonna tap one land. I think he might have a cage. I think there's a cage on the left. Yeah. All right. So there goes the recursion engine for Martin. Vince leaving up a green mana, not hitting his land drop, but I think here he can scoos the wall, and just. Okay, so another wall is gonna come down for Martin. He'll draw a card. Yeah, Martin with a lot of removal in hand, just not a lot of action.
But that's fine.
Oh, Vince is actually at 14, I think. He fetch shot twice.
Yes.
He's gonna go to 15 because he's eating this wall.
But then he's going to go down 1 because he got hit by the Pilgrim's Eye.
All
Still
right.
should be at 14.
All right, so yeah, Vince at 14. Gonna untap. Looks like he did find the land. Looks like a Blackleaf Cliffs in hand for him.
Now the problem with this matchup is that Liliana a lot of times feels pretty bad.
Yeah.
Minusing Liliana doesn't accomplish a whole lot here.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I think your goal is to just plus Liliana a bunch and triple Stone Rain them or something, but
Right.
we'll see. So Vince has the option of Finks here. First, he's gonna beat with the Scoos though. See if he can bait anything out.
So Vincent does have the option of he can bolt a Pilgrim's Eye and then eat it, and then it'll kill the wall.
Bolt. Wow, very very prescient of you, Dan.
Martin's got the path here.
Okay. Yep. So Vince will go to 15.
We'll see where on the stack this was done.
Oh, you're right. No, so he's not gonna go. He's not gonna gain any life. He is gonna get to search for a land though, and we'll see if he has a follow-up 2-drop play. I mean, that being said, Martin has a gazillion ways to answer now that he has the Supreme Verdict as well as the.
A backup path to XF.
Oh, he has another path too.
Yeah, I believe it's turn
Wow, so Martin's hand is actually just removal spells.
Right.
Interesting.
But importantly, Martin taking this line by preventing Vincent from gaining 1 life, he's allowed him to untap with 2 because he didn't have to
Yeah.
tap now. So now Vincent can follow this up with any number of 2-drops.
Looks like he's going to Collective Brutality. I think he's going to go for the hand here.
Yeah, he's gonna use look at your hand, take an instant or sorcery,
Yeah.
and he's gonna have quite a few options here.
Yeah, so he's got two choices. Can't take the D-Sphere, but Collective Brutality, very powerful card from Eldritch Moon that's actually been seeing a lot of play in both Jund and especially Abzan. Where, on turn 2, if you have the right things to discard, you can effectively cast 3 spells if you really want to.
Sure, I mean the gain life mode is certainly
Yeah.
useless,
I mean, obviously it's like a burn,
but yeah, sometimes that's just drain 2 and kill you.
Sometimes it's kill your Goblin Guide, discard your Lava Spike, and gain 2 life.
Alright. So Vincent choosing to take the path. So what that kind of represents is
Finks?
if Vincent has a Finks, if Vincent has Raging Ravine,
Sure.
those are all cards that kind of get wrecked by path and not so much Verdict. Also,
Yeah.
Verdict's much less efficient.
That is also true, forcing Martin, not allowing him to play multiple spells in one turn. Yeah, and here's the Finks.
Right.
That's going to resolve. Vincent goes to 16.
Yes, the Finks are obviously a very good path target, but not so.
Yeah.
Not
That's
so
a
great.
fine D-Sphere target, too.
Yeah.
Martin appears to have drawn a Sun Titan. Vince here going to fetch.
All right, and this next time we're gonna see just the power of that wall of them. It's like
Yeah, the Finks can't do
the
anything.
Finks really can't attack through this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, Martin, again, he's light on lands, but he has a D-Sphere which can lock up the Finks and then, force Vincent to find more threats. And threats that are, that can be dealt with by the Supreme Verdict, of course. So, gonna tap 2. Gonna see the Dreadbore targeting the Wall of Omens and a hit for 3.
Right.
I feel like, Vince just needs to get damage in, right?
Right. Vincent is not winning the long game here.
Absolutely not.
Emeria is probably the best long game deck in the format. You just have inevitability.
Yeah. So here's a Court Hussar from Martin. Basically, when this guy enters a battlefield, you get to anticipate. And if it enters a battlefield and you cast it with only islands or something, it dies. So this is actually there's very interesting synergy. If you have a Sun Titan that is recurring that recurs the Court Hussar will die, and so every turn, if you can blink your Sun Titan or whatever, Emeria trigger, bring back Flicker Sun Titan, you're anticipating every turn because the Court Hussar is dying and then coming back.
Right. Sometimes also, like all the other Titans, you get the trigger on attack as well.
That too, yeah.
Sun Titan having Vigilance, you also have it as a blocker.
Yes. Yeah, so we'll pull up one of the powerful... The thing is, though, is that, as we said before, there is a Grafdigger's Cage in play, so it's going to be hard life. Inquisition here. Ooh, wow. Double Sun Titan.
All right, so Inquisition gonna take the Tension Sphere here.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad. But seeing double Sun Titan, I mean,
Vince needs to be worried if he can't answer these Titans.
right?
He does have a Maelstrom Pulse in hand, but I don't think Martin will get so greedy that he'll run into both of those. Draw from Martin. Another tapped Emeria, of course.
But this is the 6th land, so
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sun Titan is just a 6-mana 6/6 though. I mean, unless you get a land back with it.
Grafdigger's Cage, does it read creature specifically?
Yes.
Okay, so then in that case,
He can get the D-Sphere back.
no, he can get lands back.
That too. I mean, but it's not...
Well, it's very important because that will turn on Emeria.
Right, but Emeria is only creatures.
Sure.
So...
I mean,
Oh, he's going to D-Sphere the cage. Oh, wow. Okay. Good play by Martin.
yeah, it seems like a reasonable line here.
Because now Vince needs to have 2 removal spells, one for the cage and one for the Sun Titan.
Right.
He has a Pulse. He's going to Pulse the Titan. Seems not unreasonable, but yeah. Wow, I didn't even see that. Martin locking up the cage with the Detention Sphere is quite good. He's going to go to 12. Vince's going to play a tapped Cliffs. I think he's going to think about things. Because the thing is Martin now just plays... He's 2 lands away from having that alliance. So he can play something, get back Wall of Omens. Sun Titan, get back Wall.
Yes.
And that's so hard for Vince to answer.
Vincent, definitely doesn't have a Liliana in hand. He's debating whether or not to commit more to the board, knowing Martin has.
Okay.
Ooh,
There's going to be another pulse. But the problem is that with the second Sun Titan, it's just going to get D-sphered again, right?
yeah, the D-sphere will get it, but what this means is that Vincent has one turn to draw removal.
Yeah, I mean, he could draw. There's a lot of things you can draw here. But I'm not sure if he... He looks like he has a spell just by the way that he touched his lands there, though. Yeah,
We'll see what Vincent decides to do. I'm not sure if I agree with the Maelstrom pulsing the D-sphere line,
Sure.
because he could just do that to the Sun Titan, and like the Sun Titans can't recruit themselves.
Right, I agree. And Martin still does have to hit 2 more land drops before he can play Numeria.
Right.
Goy from Vince, this is a 4/5, I guess?
Right.
Yeah.
Now we're in a little bit of rough shape here because Martin can just attack,
Get something back, yeah.
get Wall of Omens back, and then Verdict afterwards.
It seems fine. Well, if he verdicts, he loses the Sun Titan, and I'm not sure he's willing to do that at this point.
If he attacks, he will lose the Sun Titan. Right.
Assuming Vince still... Well, not if there's this.
Alright, the Flicker Wisp is also a good play here. This allows Martin to get a free attack in.
Yep.
Not have to worry
Vince
about
looks like he's going to take 6, and Martin's going to get back a Pilgrim's Eye dub because he wants to get his planes count up.
Yep. So Vincent in fairly rough shape now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what your out is here. Is it just draw Damnation?
Damnation's not even that good of an out because
Martin just needs 1 more land actually to turn on Numeria.
Right.
This might just be the classic, like, it's unwinnable for Jun now.
Yeah, I think Vincent has missed his window to win this game.
Right, and Martin looking like he has another Flicker Wisp, so he can go get... He can Flicker Wisp his Sun Titan and get something else.
Right.
Oh, he's just going to Flicker Wisp his Pilgrim's Eye. That's even better.
Well, this is going to guarantee that Martin finds his 7th land.
Yeah, and at that point, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you might even scoop to save time if you're Vince.
I mean, depending on how Vincent boarded, I mean, he could, his draw steps could be...
He needs to draw, like...
Terminate
Pulse?
into Fulminator?
Or, like... And he can't draw Pulse anymore. He's just going to scoop it up here. I was going to say, you need to draw Decay for the D-Sphere and something to kill the Titan.
Right.
On consecutive turns, but you might just be dead by then, too. So, yep, that's going to do it on Game 2 here. Martin Sheeler grinding out a win over Vince Adinolfi on Jund with his Sahelia Maria deck. Yeah, I mean, that's just what Ameria does, right? Like, Vince didn't turn the corner fast enough, and it ultimately cost him the game.
Right. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not Vincent like brings in the additional Grafdigger's Cage. I saw that he left the Damnation in the board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Damnation, if they don't have the Ameria online, can be very good and buy you a lot of time.
Damnation can clear out a lot of the nonsense creatures.
Yeah, Cortazar, Lone Missionary, etc.
Yeah, Wall of Omens, whatnot. It can also, just remove the Primeval Titans. The Sun Titans.
Yeah.
Vince also has the option of Surgical Extraction. I'm not sure if he brought that in.
Surgical take your Titan seems fine. Also, you can, if you foam them, you can Surgical their Ameria.
Right.
And I mean, the thing is without, like as we saw in the first game, Ameria without Sun Titan or without Sun Titan or an online Ameria is not a very strong deck.
Correct.
Right? You have to win. You're trying to win the game with 1/3s and 2/1s.
The entire point of the deck is to stall to find one of your recursive combos.
Right.
And Ameria is very slow, right? At best, you have it online on turn 8. There's no ramp in the deck. So
right. Yeah.
At best, you have it online on turn... on turn 9, because there's an upkeep trigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So...
Gotta go late.
A turn 9 combo is not exciting. And sometimes, it's turn 6 if you don't miss a single land drop, which is a little difficult.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing with... Yeah, with Sun Titan, one of the problems is, like, it's often not the first Sun Titan that's really going to take it home. It's often the second one. Because most of the time your opponent's going to be like, cool, I'm not Maelstrom pulsing your Wall of Omens. Kill your Sun Titan with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Vincent, had he not Maelstrom pulsed the D-Sphere, could have saved the pulse for the second Titan. Might have bought him a couple extra turns. I'm not sure whether or not it would have been enough against a Maria, because the Sun Titan engine is very powerful. The Maria engine is like unbeatable.
Absolutely. Yeah, so players shuffling up. We'll see. I think Vince, I saw a Maelstrom Pulse in there. Martin has some lands and a Lone Missionary, a Flicker Wisp.
I think that's Thoughtseize up front and possibly a Bob as well.
Yeah. Vince, I think, if he has a couple lands in that hand, like turn one Thoughtseize into Bob is, you start drawing cards, hopefully get out of the, so he's going to crack the fetch land. He has a Cage too. Wow.
All pretty good. Cage. The problem with Cage is it just doesn't really do anything until turn 6.
But the thing is, it's like a low investment insurance policy. Okay, Vince going to start off with the Inquisition here at 17 life.
Going to see a lot of nonsense, I would describe it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Vince here, you almost certainly take the Pilgrim's Eye.
Pilgrim's Eye is a good take. Kor Huzar is also a reasonable take.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's 3 lands, so the Pilgrims... Martin can cast all his spells.
Right. So you definitely leave him with the Lone Missionary. That's not doing anything.
Right.
Kor Huzar is probably the most powerful thing, especially since all the other cards you can deal with fairly reasonably.
Absolutely.
Pilgrim's Eye and is just Pilgrim. For me, the choice is between Pilgrim's Eye and Kor Huzar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both of them kind of guarantee you value, and Kor Huzar just gives you more selection.
Yeah. So we'll see what Vince decides to go with here. It looks like he's going to take the Flicker Wisp instead, potentially negating like a rebuy on any of those enter the battlefield triggers. He also does have another discard spell, so it'll be interesting to see what he decides to take with that. Probably, I like the line here of play a second land. Vince kept a 1-lander.
Oh, okay.
All right. Martin going to follow on with a second Emeria. Vince really needs to draw that second land. Like, that would be... Okay, Thoughtseize here is going to put him to 15. Martin's got lands and basically the same stuff.
So here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, I certainly take the Kor Huzar.
Yeah, there's so many lands already.
Yeah, there's so many lands. Yes, giving him another plains puts him closer to Emeria.
But you have the Cage now.
Yeah.
Kor Huzar takes away selection.
Right.
Looks like Vincent is going to agree with you on the line to take here, and the question is, did he draw step a land? Because that looks like he kept like a very powerful hand, but with only 1 land, it looks like he's going to throw it back. So this is not ideal. He needs to find that land really fast.
Right, and I mean, yes, Vince's hand looks powerful. But
yeah, that 1-lander.
If you kept a 1-lander, your hand better be powerful, right? Else, what are we doing?
Well, I mean, I think so Martin here gonna choose to play this tapped and get that Lone Missionary in there.
Okay. Martin just under no pressure here.
Absolutely not.
Does need to jam the Pilgrim's Eye.
Vince does find the second land.
All right. So now we're in business here. Now Vincent's hand is mostly, if not fully, unlocked.
Yeah. And so Tarmogoyf is a 3/4 right now. Martin notably with not a lot of removal, but a lot of chump blockers. So Vincent here gonna find Overgrown Tomb, preserving his life total a little bit.
Fetching the Overgrown though.
Finding basic swamp.
Right. Finding a swamp though does mean that he doesn't have red.
Right. So maybe he just doesn't have red cards. Oh no, Vince has changed his mind.
Vincent is realizing that might be getting
Stomping Ground or Blood Crypt?
A Blood Crypt here. Okay, so Vincent getting a Stomping Ground. It kind of depends on what Vincent's hand
if there's a
like.
Scooz in hand, I could see the second green source.
Right. The second black source is really important, though, for
Lily
Liliana.
and Kalidas, yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
But again, if you're not drawing those immediately.
Yeah. Speaking of, okay, so there's going to be a Bob. This will, maybe draw Vince into some more lands. Martin going to find another Pilgrim's Eye. Right now, Vince going to go to 10 here, but right now the recursion engine is just off. So
yeah, and not particularly close either. We're 5 turns away from this.
Vince going to take 1 from the Bob.
We're going to see if we can find another land.
Not sure what happened on the draw step. He concealed it pretty well. But he has a Goyf, so we know he can play the Goyf. There's also a Fulminator over there for Vince. I'm personally in favor of trying to take Martin off of more planes rather than taking him off of more than taking him off of Mary, just because he has 2 of Mary already.
Mm-hmm.
Martin here, draw step. Not sure what it was, but Martin has basically a free attack here. No one wants to trade for the Lone Missionary, and he has a flyer. Vince does risk dying to Bob. He's going to 6, although there's a Scoos.
There's an active Scoos. He can always upkeep, eat and gain some life.
Eating on upkeep, desperation plays.
Yeah.
Martin here with another Pilgrim's Eye. All right. Vince.
That is 2 power in the air. The clock is pretty real here.
Yeah, I agree. Ooh, Vince gonna go to 4 here.
Yeah, probably one of the worst possible flips.
Right, you're not playing that Bob, almost certainly.
Yeah.
And now Martin technically has lethal on board. Obviously there's a Scoos, but Martin could attack for the remainder of Vince's life total.
No, I don't really like this attack from Vincent because the Bob could be a blocker.
Sure. Well, no, because the thing is Vince will just Scoos something and block on the ground if that becomes necessary.
Sure.
Although, yeah, I guess if you do get the chance to throw it away, get that Bob out of here for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Vincent might be priced into using a lightning bolt on a Pilgrim's Eye here, just to save damage.
Just to save some life, yeah, I could see that happening as well.
Yeah.
The bolt's not really doing much more than that.
Bolt something, Scoos it, and you're neutral on.
You're
you don't take
neutral on life.
you're neutral on life. Here's the swing. See what Vince does.
Yeah,
he could also just double Scoos end of turn.
But you're not really advancing your board state, right? So Vincent really wanted to find another land for his Maelstrom Pulse.
Right, absolutely.
That could clean up the board nicely.
Certainly.
Mm-hmm.
Martin gonna play another planes, and if he passes Vince, obviously he's gonna Scoos something.
Yeah.
You don't Scoos the Pilgrim's Eye though because you have a Goyf in your hand.
Exactly.
You want that artifact.
So Vincent is currently at 3.
Yeah, he's currently at 3.
So importantly, there are 4 drops in this deck. So
yeah, it's not optimal.
It's not free.
Yep, it is most certainly not. So, gonna have to. I think you Scoos here, and then depending on how risky you're feeling, right? Well, there's only one 4-drop, right?
Yeah, it's just Kalidas, but the problem is if you Scoos and don't find the land, now all of a sudden, what do you do with your next turn?
Right. Yeah. Your turn is you've essentially wasted your turn.
Right.
That being said, from my heart of the cards luck, from my luck intuition, Vincent is due to hit a land somewhere here, and he is gonna Scoos the Flicker Wisp.
Now, if Martin can find a red source, he can play Saheeli, make a Goblin of Pilgrim's Eye, and there's a surprise point in the air.
Yes.
It looks like Vincent has double Pulse in hand.
What is that card?
Chat, can you help us out? What is that
Yes,
card?
Oh man, Vince does find a land. It is tapped though. It's unfortunate for him.
That is a...
What the heck is that thing?
A mystery card from Ameria. Is that Martyr of Sands?
All right.
Yeah.
Dan with the call there.
Just a way to gain a ton of life.
Yes, it is. As I, pull the card image up here, it's a Martyr of Sands, everybody. Tuhu Sehu. There we go. All right, reveal X white cards you gain in 3 times X life. If you're in the market to gain some life, we're in the market to sell you a Martyr of Sands, people. Holy moly!
Well, Martyr of Sands gets played in Soul Sisters because
absolutely.
Sometimes you turn 1 in, and then turn 2 you gain 15, 16 life, and all of a sudden, your cards are online.
Yeah, you can play your Saracen, and it's a 6/6. Seems fine.
So Vincent, wealth of cards in hand.
He is gonna tap some mana. So he's gonna Scoos to stay at 4 here. Eating the other Pilgrim's Eye. This Scoos is really keeping Vincent around in the game. He's got this Bob, but all right, Martin gonna play a Tech Edge. Whew, that's quite good, but Vince only has 3 lands.
Yeah, Tech Edge currently does absolutely nothing.
It just taps for colorless.
Yeah.
Vince gonna go up to 5 here, eat his way out of this hole. The flip? Oh my god, what a luck sack.
I mean, eventually you have to draw some of these lands, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you're right.
Alright, so Vincent hastily played a land, and I'm not sure I like that.
Because of the tech edge.
Because of the tech edge. No, he can just leave the catacombs there, sitting, so he always has access to another green source.
Yeah.
But,
If they so here's the thing: if they tech edge you and you, I guess it's functionally the same. Never mind. Well, I guess no, never mind. I'm thinking about failing to find with the catacombs and stuff. Vince gonna tap. It still stun rains you.
it does.
Or still wastelands you. Vince gonna tap some. Looks like he's got a pulse in hand. First, there's an attack with a 5/5 skews. Martin says, "Fine, take it." Vince needs more blockers.
Yeah, I definitely like playing the Goyf here.
Here comes the Goyf. Goyf is going to be a 3/4.
So one thing Martin could have done is during combat, tech edged,
Yeah.
and just removed one of Vince's lands.
Okay, so he's going to do it now.
Right. So Vincent didn't have a play off of that, but he could have potentially, had a bolt, had something
Right.
like that.
Yeah, and Martin goes to 17 off that skews hit.
Right. So Martin finally found his red source
Right.
for his Sahili in hand. And the Sahili, let's not forget, the plus ability
Is just damage.
It is damage. It deals 1.
Here we go. Martin going to go to 14 off that fetch land. So here's the thing, though, is it'll deal 1 to Vince, or it'll make a copy of Lone Missionary. But then Vince will just trade the Bob for anything on the ground, I think.
Right. So I almost like the thing is the Pilgrim side, the copy of Pilgrim side doesn't do anything.
Right.
Right. So Martin's gonna scry Island down to the bottom. Vincent's gonna go to 4 and then 3 from the attack.
I'm not. Did Martin attack there?
Yes, he did. He attacked from the
Okay.
Pilgrim side. All right. Vincent founds
Find
Bloodstained.
another land.
Bloodstained
Wow.
Mire.
So here Vince needs to kill some stuff so that he can keep eating with skews to stay alive. He does have a Maelstrom Pulse though, so I feel like you fetch a basic land and just Maelstrom Pulse this Sahili before it can do anything shenanigans to you.
So if you Maelstrom Pulse the Sahili,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Vincent fetching correctly, getting the grain source.
Yeah.
If you Maelstrom Pulse the Sahili, the Pilgrim side takes you to 1.
Yeah.
And then you have an active Bob with nothing to eat.
You're right. But the Sahili can also copy stuff, right? It's not a.
What is it copying right now, though, right?
I mean, I guess it depends if you're gonna attack or not block or whatever.
Sure.
Vince with double pulse, but it's a little slow here, obviously. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh man, yeah. Then you flip anything to Bob and just lose.
Yeah.
So, Vince considering he can go to 1, pulse the Pilgrim's Eye, and then skews it, but then you're still just dead to the.
So what Vincent can do is attack. He's in full desperation mode,
Yeah.
right? So he can send both he can send the Scavenging Ooze at Sahili. If it gets blocked, great. Now we have something else we can eat. If it doesn't get blocked, all of a sudden Sahili's dead and we're going to 1. That's fine. We'll pulse something. Go to 1 on upkeep, eat it, stay at 2, and perhaps not die.
This is the beauty of Dark Confidant,
Right.
Dan.
But I think any play that Vincent makes has to involve an attack on Sahili.
Yeah.
It just depends on how many he wants to go at it. And he's priced into playing a pulse, I believe, as well. Unless his hand doesn't do anything else.
Here comes the pulse. He has a lot of expensive cards. He's gonna pulse the Sahili.
Okay. So yeah, the one problem with this is
He does.
he
Oh,
doesn't
he's
get
gonna pass it back.
So Vincent has to make an attack here. He's not putting enough pressure,
Yeah.
and there's nothing going to the graveyard.
Here comes the Pilgrim's Eye, in for 1.
So Vincent is dead to about 60% of his deck now.
He's flipped lands a bunch of turns in a row. Vince. He realizes now. He realizes. He knows. Big money. Oh my god, he flips a land.
Flips a land. Okay, we're still in this.
We are in this. Bob luck, everybody. Look at this. Look at this player. The problem is that Vince still is in a pickle unless he kills his own He needs to kill the Pilgrim's Eye and kill his own Bob.
Yeah. So what he can do is kill the Pilgrim's Eye and on upkeep eat.
If he has
Eat
a
it.
removal spell that's not Pulse.
No, even Pulse is fine, right?
No, because he doesn't have the untapped mana.
Eat on upkeep.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Vince, gonna just fire off this Terminate at the Pilgrim's Eye. Woohoo! Value right there.
So he
Red Zone. There you go. Just the Goyf.
Yeah.
4
I mean,
5.
he can attack the 2, but that does put him dead to removal.
Yes. I mean, the Martyr and the Lone Missionary are lethal at this point. This is a huge Goyf, by the way. This has to be like, a 6/7? Because
No,
Artifact and Planeswalker.
yeah. So
Plus the traditional 4.
yes. So this should be a 6/7.
Jeez, that is a large Tarmogoyf, everybody.
So Vincent getting close to drawing his way out of this. Now, if he blocks, Martin has 1 turn. Because then Vincent on upkeep can eat like a bajillion things.
Yeah, okay. So Martin is going to, just looks like he's going to take the 6 here, go to 8.
Yeah.
Vince going to play a Cliffs tapped and pass. So Vince has 1 target to eat with Skoos. That might not be good enough. Right? Like, Vince is at 1 here.
So this is
Oh, D-Sphere. Wait, is he just dead?
No, he's still alive. He can eat.
Not if they both attack and the Skoos gets D-Sphered.
Just block with Goyf. Block with Bob.
You're still going to take... Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well...
So this is why it was really important for Vincent to attack earlier
Yeah.
with the Goyf or the Skoos, because without the attacks earlier,
Yeah.
he can't force Martin to
Right.
chump block.
Absolutely. So, yeah, Vince going to eat the Pilgrim's Eye, going to go to 2.
Right. So
This might let Vince get his Bob off the table, though.
right.
It depends if Martin
I
might
don't.
not
I don't
even
think
attack.
Martin wants that. I think that's Martin's best route to victory.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah. Had Vincent attacked just 1 time earlier, he could
could've
have
forced
double
chump
attacked,
blocks,
forced
yeah.
a chump block, and then all of a sudden you're gaining a ton of life on this turn.
You're right. Yeah, that's a good point. Vince holding back just a little bit. Might cost him the game here. Martin honestly content to pass the turn and let the Bob do its dirty work.
I mean, so there's a lot of. You're dead to about. I don't know.
The
half
plays.
the deck.
Oh my god! Are you kidding me? This is like 5 lands in a row for Vince. Actual 5 lands in a row to the Bob, specifically.
Okay, so Vincent drew a Damnation, and that might be just where we're
Headed this game?
headed. Like,
Honestly, I think I like Damnation a lot here. Like,
you can attack with both creatures.
right. Get damage through, and then blow up the whole board. Kill your Bob, finally. Like, jeez.
Right, and you have a Liliana in hand. You have like Martin does not have instant speed damage.
Vince sees the line.
Yeah.
Block on the Goyf. Martin gonna go to 6.
Okay. So Vincent also had the line of just playing Liliana, target himself, sack
Yeah.
the Bob.
He might be doing that right now.
Okay.
Oh wow! I think he might have targeted. Vince. Vince needs to fetch his other swamp and pulse his own Bob.
Yes.
Yeah. Vince, you gotta do it, buddy.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. This is not. You have.
You have to do this. Okay. The Bob life successfully.
I think Vince's fear here is like this is not his deck, and I don't know if he was positive that there was a second swamp.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, the 2 swamps, 1 forest, Jundlist. Oh my gosh, this is so tense, right? Like,
but
Vince has been on 1 life for like most of this game.
But Vincent's not out of the woods here. The Myriad deck runs Mortarpod.
No,
Mortarpod
you
could
monster.
just end the game here.
Oh my god, Vince says, get this Bob out of here. It is useless to me now. And Martin gonna draw step.
Draws a Wall of Omens?
Redraw.
Redraw. Not just a redraw, chump blocker.
What do you redraw? I think he has lands. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Gravedigger's Cage, super nuts this game.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This would be 3 Myriad triggers on upkeep.
Right? Like, all right, Vince. This is insane. Vince Adinolfi draws like 5 lands to the Bob and all the action everywhere else. Can discard everything. And he has another Skoos.
He's another Skoos.
He wins the game. How do you... Oh my god. That's That's a lethal attack with a Goyf? Vince with the Scoos?
It's not lethal anymore. There's no artifact. He ate the Pilgrim's Eye.
That's fine. He has a Fulminator too. Fulminator your Sacred Foundry. Oh, Saheeli Rai wasn't out.
So he wasn't out.
Okay, and that's gonna do it! Vince Adinolfi clutches the win in Game 3 over Martin Sheeler. I do not believe it, Dan. Oh my goodness. I actually am stunned.
Yes. Vincent, first time playing Jund. Bob says hello. Welcome to the Jund life.
That was insane. That was so great. Like, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta trust that your Bob's not gonna kill you, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Greatness at any cost. Greatness at any cost, Dan!
You can't play Bob if you're afraid of what you flip.
No.
You got heart of the cards.
Yo, imagine if you flipped... Okay, Vince drew a... Vince drew, like, a Damnation with the Bob out, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that, you know... One card flip difference, and he just dies.
Yeah, but that's the best of all possible worlds, right?
Yeah.
You draw, you flip land, you draw for.
Yeah. Absolutely.
CMC4.
Flip land, draw 4, drop. Just do it, guys. All of you. This is why you play Bob.
Yeah.
You know.
And I mean, to be fair, if you play like a tournament and it's the other way around, you are not winning games.
Yeah.
Like if you just flip 4-3-3, you're losing those games.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I had a buddy who, flipped 3-3-4 and lost, and he flipped like Finks Baloth and still lost the game because there were just so much damage to him.
But look at games like this. Like, think how many cards did Vincent go up? Like, he went up like
5 or 6 cards.
Yeah, 5 or 6 cards.
My God.
And importantly, drew out of his 1-lander.
Right. That hand was a 1-lander. And okay, we were a little bit skeptical about Cage. We were like, it's only really good if you go late. But triple Ameria trigger prevented.
Yeah, if you don't think you can go late, like this is, Cage is incredible.
It's just like the 1 mana you're done card.
Yeah, it shuts off the unfair portions of the deck, right? Well, sometimes still can get back land, still can get back, D-spheres and stuff.
And then when Vince playing the Fulminator, taking out the Sacred Foundry at the end, we completely forgot there are Saheeli Rise in this deck. Like we saw them in this game, right? Like, can you imagine? Okay, it must feel bad to die to Collective Brutality Drain Gain, but I bet it feels worse to die to Saheeli Rai Ping in Modern.
Oh, absolutely. Back when Jund played 4-mana Chandra, I've killed a lot of people with Ping you for 1.
Oh, Dan, don't do this.
Ping you for 1 and kill your Birds of Paradise as well.
I mean, 1U.
1U?
The 4 mana sorcery speed 1U.
Hey. But it's good. It's good.
I doubt there's another match. Do you just want to go check real quick and see where they are with everything?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Yeah. So Dan is gonna head out and get the and see what's going on out there. But ladies and gentlemen, truly an absurd bunch of magic we just saw. Vincent with some unbelievable Bob flips. Like, you don't normally win that when you're, sitting on 2 life and getting pecked away by Ameria creatures, but there's a Bob. Like, jeez. So it sounds like from what I hear outside that round 2 pairings are going up, which means we are going to get you some more magic right now. We have no brakes on this train. Going to get some round timer reset. Gonna get some overlays changed back up. Yeah, so that was, Ameria just getting shut off by the Grave Hate. Turns out to be incredibly powerful there because 3 Ameria triggers means Vince is certainly losing that game. Until, of course, it just didn't, it didn't happen because of the Cage. Grafdigger's Cage proving its worth. Dan, who are we getting?
We are getting Ned against Paul Myers.
Who?
Paul Myers.
Paul Myers versus...
Ned, last name.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, my name is Moto. Cage is pretty good. You just play it in every deck, right, that wants to hate on the graveyard, if you can afford to.
How do you beat Cage?
As Ameria?
No, in decks that Cage is good against?
Yeah,
it's
very
good.
difficult. All right, so looks like we're going to have...
looks like Ned is on the right here and Paul is on the left.
Okay. So left player is going to be. Do you know what either of them are playing?
Yeah, Paul is on Affinity,
Okay.
and Ned is on Junk Company, I believe.
Okay.
Both tier 1 decks.
Absolutely. Abzan Company may have fallen off a little bit since its real heyday, but there are people who have who seriously do play Magic, who have written articles saying, "Is Abzan Company the new twin?" Spoiler alert: Abzan Company was not the new twin, nor will it ever be the new twin.
Well, there was
But-
that SCG where it just completely
Yeah.
wrecked.
It's so
everyone.
easy to hate, though. That's one of the things that I think makes it different, right? Like,
Well, the thing is, it plays a fair game, right? Whereas Twin often doesn't play a fair game, especially the all-in Twin versions.
yeah.
Could not play a fair game. I mean, yes, they could bolt snap you, but
Yeah.
that was a far second.
Sure.
Coco, a lot of times you just play, you play Kitchen Finks, and it kills you.
Right. Yeah, so Paul Myers on Affinity versus Ned on Abzan Company.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to get this one right underway. One of the nice things about having, Jund playing Ameria in a round is that, it just, the round never, the one round ends and the next round is immediately ready to fire because those decks are super grindy. So yeah, here we go. Players are going to roll. Looks like a 6 for Ned, and Paul less than 6. Looks like you rolled a 3.
Yeah,
All right.
it's either a 3 or...
So how do you? So game 1, right? There's obviously the possibility of gaining infinite life from Abzan Company.
Right. You also have Malira.
You also have Malira, which turns off the infect kill.
Yes.
This looks like a pretty reasonable hand for Paul. It's got 3 lands and double Arcbound, a Plating, a Vault Scourge. It's not fast,
But it's powerful.
It's quite powerful. The Vault Scourge especially, flying in against decks that like to clog up the ground like Abzan Company is very relevant.
Yeah, so Ned does have a couple of bullets here. Orzhov Pontiff does overtime work here.
Yes, that is a possibility for the Abzan Company deck, which is playing Court of Calling.
Right. Malera also quite good. Again, if Paul goes for the Inkmoth kill, which it looks like this hand he's not going to be doing
Right.
that.
That looks like a basic swamp. Turn 1.
That
Is that a forest? No, it's a swamp. Okay,
that
so
is a
Viscera's
swamp.
here.
Okay.
All right. Confusing there, but yes, there is another 1-drop. So
I mean, basic swamp is probably the worst land you can
Yeah.
get in this deck. So I'm assuming Ned's hand has all the other colors
yeah,
available.
he's got a green, white, and another fetch land in there.
Right.
So Paul thinking about leading on either Vault Scourge or Springleaf Drum.
Right. If he doesn't have a...
Doesn't have an opal.
Right. So if he plays Springleaf here, next turn he can go land, play Vault Scourge, and play...
And play Plating.
Plating.
Okay, but he's gonna go Vault Scourge here.
Right. So Paul choosing to develop a 1/1 as opposed to developing a Springleaf Drum.
Yeah,
Uh,
seems fine.
yeah, both options, fine.
Yeah, and I'm sure that I am personally not very good at playing Affinity. Ooh, Tide Hollow Scholar, quite good. So I don't know some of the more intricate lines with the deck. But the Plating is the easy take here with Sculler. We're gonna pass it back.
Right. Unfortunately, Ned's also gonna look over and see Paul's hand with a lot of redundancy, right? Multiple Ravagers.
Etch Champion, obviously, just they have his deck can't really do anything
Yeah,
against that.
Edge Champion with Plating, very unfair.
Yeah.
Edge Champion with Ravagers, still a little unfair, but less so.
Yeah.
Also, Paul drew a second Darksteel, which means the Edge Champion, you can't randomly turn it
Yeah.
off of
No, that's-
Metacraft.
Yeah, so here comes the first Ravager. Gonna pass it back. Another land. Sacrifice it for Ned. Not a very fast start for...
No, but we do see a collecting company in Ned's hand.
Oh, okay.
So one more, and
He can
possibly get there.
spin the value wheel, as it were.
Yeah, and there's just so many good hits.
Yeah, I mean, if you hit double Finks on a collected company, that's a really strong... That's a strong hit for you. Paul, the Cranial Plating is not equipped to the Sculler, it's just exiled under it. Gonna beat for 2 here.
Yeah. Paul not going to go for the full YOLO of sack the board to a Ravager or something.
No, not yet. It's too early, Dan.
Yes.
These are early days. Malira, though, gonna hit the table, so we are exactly like a kitchen finks away from infinite life.
Yeah, we're a Kitchen Finks or Murderous Red Cap.
Oh, true.
Murderous Red Cap off the
true.
top just kills Paul.
I mean, kitchen finks off the top makes it impossible for him to win outside of Galv blasting the Malira and drawing an Ink Moth.
Yep. Yeah, we do know.
And it also gives Ned infinite scry to put Cord on top so he can get Red Cap.
No, or you can just put Red Cap on top.
Oh, yeah, you can cut to it. Yeah, you can cut to it with the scry.
Never mind the cord, just put Red Cap on top.
Yeah.
With Coco in hand, Ned has a lot of looks. He's got 7 looks to find
Kitchen finks.
Kitchen Finks.
Yeah, I mean, is Kitchen Finks in your top 7? Do you win the game? Like, it's unclear. So, Opal here for Paul. So, that would have been a really good, like, turn 1 or something.
So, if Ned was keeping track of Paul's hand, he knows everything in Paul's hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
He knows about the Edge Champion, the
Never
Spring
be
Leaf,
afraid.
and the Ravager.
Yeah.
So, Paul in really rough shape here. At best, he's got maybe...
Here comes the attacks.
Yeah, there's just no reason for blocks here. This isn't even remotely close to lethal.
Yeah. So yeah, Ned looks like he's going to go to 12. No, 13.
13. Unless Paul decides to sack some stuff here. I don't know if there's enough reason to sack, although I guess the Blink Moth is kind of... I mean, the Blink Moth is just like an aerial...
He's going to sack it.
Alright.
So yeah, I'm going to go to 12.
Sure. Paul has just more than enough mana anyway, so
Yeah.
maybe just squeeze in an extra point damage here.
Gonna tap 3. I think you go for the edge tier, obviously.
This is just the edge, just so you have a blocker now.
Yeah.
And
but this just doesn't feel good.
Yeah, Ned's got 7 looks. Here's look 1. Did not find it.
I mean...
Alright,
ding,
we're
ding,
gonna
ding,
go
ding,
for it.
ding. No Spell Pierce here.
There's a cord. There's a Red Cap. Oh, there's an Anafenza. Well, not exactly exciting. It was 3 land, a Quarter Calling, a Red Cap, and an Anafenza.
Yep. So this actually,
And he does get an Anafenza trigger here that it looks like he forgot about.
Is it when
It's other creatures.
It's other creatures. So,
excuse me. But again, this is fine. Ned still has a lot of live draws. He knows he can't draw the Red Cap anymore because he did bottom it.
Yeah.
But any other Coco, very good. Cord, also very good.
Yeah. I mean, Ned is honestly on a 2-turn clock, though, from this Ravager, right?
Let's see if we can sack enough things. So if he sacks the Vault Scourge, the Opal, and the Blink Moth, that
It
puts
says
5
5.
counters.
Okay, so it's
so
not...
7?
Needs another artifact.
No, that would be lethal.
Oh, you're right.
Because there's 2 counters
Yeah.
on Ravager right
Oh,
now,
yeah.
so that would
Yeah.
make Edge Champion at 7/7.
And there's also a Springleaf Drum, which is just like, at this point, just food.
Springleaf is just free. Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think he can put him on. What if he sacks his entire board? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
You have to have Metalcraft
and
still,
then
though.
8. No, you just after blockers.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Looks like he's 1 short here.
Yeah, he's really thinking about this one
Yeah,
hard.
so he's got 2 cards in hand: 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that makes Elect Champion 11, 11.
Not good enough.
Yeah, he's exactly
I mean, it's a
1
two.
point
So it's a 2-turn clock.
right. There's no way to make this a 1-turn clock.
Right. Blink Moth gonna get powered up. I mean, gonna try to hit the red zone here. So this looks like an attack for 4 coming across with another Ravager on the field here. All right.
Yeah. So Ned, not in great shape.
Ned in trouble. I mean, he has to like what, draw step into a Finks, right?
Quarter Calling just instantly win the game.
Okay.
Finks instantly win the game.
Sure.
Well, effectively win the
Looks
game.
like Paul is just gonna pick his board up, or pick up his.
So picking up his board is not.
Sorry, he's picking up like almost everything here.
Yeah.
So it looks like you can put 5 counters on the etched, like we talked about before.
Yep. So there's 2 there, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
Sack Ravager to itself. And then here comes the ding. Alright, so that's for 9. That's going to go to... Wait.
Yep, looks like 9. That's going to go to 3. Paul's going to get
Wait,
18.
couldn't he have just used the Ravager to sack the rest of the artifacts and put it on the champion then?
Yeah, it would have been 11. See if Ned drew out
Oh,
of it.
you're right. Okay.
All right, so Ned's fetching.
Yeah, right player is at 3. Now he's at 2 from that fetch.
All right.
So he has to have. I mean, if he has court or anything, right? He just.
Well,
wins.
quarter column just wins, right? Quarter,
Yeah.
you just get the red cap that was on the bottom. Now, if he found the collected company, I really hate this fetch because he just shuffled 5 dead cards
into his library. All right, here's the Coco, folks.
Yeah, I really don't like
you
that
go,
fetch.
Glenn Coco.
Yeah, that fetch really makes me upset.
Oh, he
that's
did
the
it.
kitchen fix, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is everything.
Oh,
All right.
brutal.
The game's
And
over. Game is over.
One away from pulling it off. Affinity, it's not gonna work out.
Just short.
So close. One away from killing with the Etch champion.
Right, and I mean, props to Ned. Like turn 1 fetching Verdant for Swamp.
Yeah.
A lot of people just got an Overgrown Tomb, and that would have been enough to
Absolutely.
kill him.
Yeah, so Ned gonna make functionally infinite life.
Get infinite scry red cap to the top.
Yeah.
Paul cannot.
He can also make his creatures infinite big because he gets infinite bolster triggers from the Anafenza.
Yes, because if you have both Anafenza and a Malaria, you get infinite triggers.
Mm-hmm.
So Paul is completely drawing dead.
Yeah. Point here in the chat from Tuhu Seho. He could have sacked the Tide Hollow Sculler and the Bird to Scry too. I actually like that line a lot.
Absolutely. I would have preferred to not have fetched, and to scried with the Bird and scried with the Tide Hollow Sculler.
Absolutely.
That's 4 cards deeper. 5 on the bottom are garbage.
Right.
So all of a sudden you've gone 15 cards into your library.
You've expanded your library considerably in terms of what wins you the game.
Right.
So, game 2 coming right up here. I think. I feel like Affinity. Grafdigger's Cage has to be a consideration.
Grafdigger's Cage is a must. Like it even beats on the absence decks like Fair Game, right?
Yeah.
It makes Kitchen Finks a lot worse.
Kitchen Finks is worse. They can't chord either. It just
or Coco.
Yeah. It shuts off their entire
Right.
unfair part of their strategy.
Mm-hmm. And Ned though can bring in a lot of hate.
Stony, Kasali,
or Kataki.
Kataki is a very good card.
Kataki is usually at least a one of because you can chord for it.
Yeah, chord for Kataki end step.
It's quite good. Again, there are draws where it's not backbreaking. There are also draws where it's unbeatable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Paul appears to have shuffled in a Thoughtseize at least one.
Yeah, I see a lot of the affinity decks against the more combo oriented.
Take your synergy pieces.
Yeah, take your synergy. Slowing down your deck a little bit to take your opponent's collected company.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a fine trade.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the dream start for Paul here is Dark Steel, Cage, Opal, Vault Scourge, go.
Yeah.
Right?
Or you need just the generic turn 1 cranial playing.
Yeah.
With a bunch of other nonsense.
With Ornithopters and stuff.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, Affinity, the good draws on Affinity are very good.
It's very different, especially because this Abzan deck is probably playing 4 paths and maybe 1 or 2 Abrupt Decay.
Mm-hmm.
Their spot obviously they have hate cards now, but their spot removal suite is very minimal compared to other decks.
Yeah, you can deal with an Arcbound Ravager sort of, but dealing with plating is very difficult.
Yeah.
You're really looking for a Pride Mage in your main deck.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so here we go. Game 2. We got Paul Myers on Affinity versus Ned on Abzan Company.
After an extremely close game 1.
That was super close.
Yeah, and
holy moly.
Again, props to Ned. Him recognizing how precious his life was at and fetching appropriately.
Absolutely.
Turn 1 fetch for Swamp in an Abzan deck is not intuitive.
Absolutely not.
But that play ended up winning him the game. He was literally 1 point from dying.
Paul has a pretty sick opener. He's got an Opal, a Signal Pest, an Ornithopter, Darksteel Citadel, Ravager. So, that goes, Signal Pest is a very strong card, and if he at any point draws a plating, it's just bye-bye. Yeah. So, we'll see. Ned here looks like he's going to mull, though.
Right. On the draw, you get the scry.
Yeah.
It's not quite as painful. Your hate is just so strong against Affinity that you can there's no reason to keep the marginal hands.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, and this is This is an interesting matchup. So what do we got over here? Looks
got
like there's a
a Malira,
Malira. I saw a
Township.
Gavany Township too, yeah.
Right. I think there's a Windswept in there as well.
All right. This seems so Ned has elected to scry and keep. We're gonna see some affinity hand vomit going on.
Yeah, this is gonna be a very powerful turn one.
All right, Inkmoth.
Or-
Ornithopter. Opal. Inkmoth animate itself.
No, just
Okay, or just cast something.
Opal cast something. Yeah, this is fine.
Opal cast. See, if he leads with Dark Steel here, it doesn't matter.
He can cast Springleaf, and Springleaf he can play Arcbound Ravager on turn one.
Yeah. Right. That's the.
That
Oh, he can still play the Ravager now.
yeah.
Yeah. So he's choosing between Pest and Ravager. I like Pest here personally. But he's gonna go Ravager.
Developing the
Again,
Ravager is so
also,
powerful.
For those of you who are just joining the stream, I know actually very little about playing Affinity, so I'm not going to be right all the time. All right, so this is a lot of power on the board, and he draws a Vault Scourge, which is only, that's just gravy right now.
Right. I mean, turn 2, Paul has access to 4 mana.
Yeah. I mean, obviously here
Can
plating.
actually play out his entire hand.
Yeah, and it might just be worth doing
Just
so.
no reason not to.
Yeah. This is one of the reasons I like the Signal Pest here is because you can. Like, you start attacking for more earlier, but having the Ravager is also fine. Again, I'm not great at Affinity, so.
Generally, yeah. If you can play the Ravager, it's always correct.
Okay.
Play Ravager. Signal Pass. If your board is small, you're not chipping in for that
You're
much
right.
damage.
That's absolutely correct. Okay, so gonna come across here. There is a Malira in Ned's hand, which is a little bit unfortunate for this Inkmoth attack, but Ned gonna go to
1 and
19,
1.
yeah.
19 and 1 poison.
19 and 1 poison.
Yep. So Paul's seeing that he can play out his hand, just wanting to do as much damage as possible. And
This is a very fast. This is a clock and a half because you're hitting for like 4 or 5.
This is turn 2, and Paul has 8 permanents in play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn 2, 8 permanents, the classic. All right,
To
Ned
be
gonna
fair,
go 18.
only one of them is really threatening, but
Right.
it's still a thing.
Absolutely. No, I think that, Ned obviously, like, with the Malira here, can turn off the...
So Paul, if Paul draws like a Darksteel, he has lethal.
What?
He can sack his board.
This turn?
If Paul draws,
Assuming he doesn't play the Malira, though.
assuming Ned doesn't play the Malira, Paul has lethal.
He's going to fetch.
Paul just has lethal with almost anything he draws except like
Another Inkmoth. No, he can draw the other Inkmoth and sack it to the Inkmoth.
except exactly I think at Champion. At Champion is the only draw he has.
But
that
if
doesn't
Ned
have
plays the
lethal.
Malira here, that's off the table.
That's off the table. Then that's fine. That's still just hit you for. I don't know how much this is. This is going to be a lot.
I mean, the thing is that the Inkmoth, you won't even bother activating it because the Malira's in play.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you'll have 2 from the Ravager, 2 from the Vault Scourge, so that's 5. You'll hit for 5, take him to 12, and then it starts to get to the point where sacking your entire board to Ravager and just killing with normal damage is the thing. But here is something to note. Ned is a turn away from winning the game with a Viscera, right? Like, he could go Finks next turn and then play Viscera.
Yeah, but 2 turns though, right?
Sorry, he's 2 turns away.
Right.
He honestly might be dead by then.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, the Malira, a very good draw, and like, it's shocking to see how good Inkmoth is with Ravager. So for those who are unfamiliar with the interaction between Malira and Inkmoth, it's very good for the person with Malira. So what Malira says is that you can't gain Infect. You can't gain poison counters, and your opponent's creatures lose Infect.
Right.
However, since Inkmoth gives the creature itself Infect, it will still have Infect when it attacks, which means that it will attempt to poison Ned and
Do
Malira
nothing.
will do actual nothing.
Now,
on the other hand, if say Ned had like cocoed into it during attacks, if the Inkmoth was already animated, it would lose Infect and deal normal damage.
Yeah.
But just for that turn.
It's
After
a
that,
weird layers thing.
yeah. So this is exactly what it is. It's layers. Because the timestamp from giving it infect happens afterwards.
Yeah.
That is what's going to happen. So it's not going to work out well for Paul at all.
Yeah.
But
I think he's talking. I think they're actually talking to the judge now about how this interaction works, which is good because it's a little bit. It is certainly confusing, especially if you don't play against it a lot.
right. But again, like Paul is still in fine position.
Absolutely.
He's got a very, very aggressive attack here. He can sack a couple things to Ravager as well to squeeze in more damage.
This is, I think, a 2-turn clock, right? Even with normal damage.
Yeah, the Spring Leaf has kind of
Outlived its usefulness.
exactly. Opal possibly as well. It depends on what Paul drew here.
All right, he's gonna tap. He's gonna fire, or he's gonna tap mana for the Ink Moth.
It's gonna undo that.
All right, press undo on Moto.
Well, I mean, Paul could animate Inkmoth on his turn, on Ned's turn, and then it would just be a 1/1 flyer. But then he goes to his turn, and that goes away.
Okay. Yeah. So.
All right. So Paul no longer has lethal this turn.
That's unfortunate for Paul, but I think he's gonna
He's
look
still
at the board
fine.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, we'll see. We'll see what he chooses to do. I mean, this is where Affinity gets so incredibly complex to play.
Here, I'm not sure what Paul drew, but unless he drew something, particularly exciting, I would just, turn all the creatures sideways.
I mean, if he draws up plating, obviously it's nuts. Then it's crazy.
Right. I think Paul.
Okay, here comes the sideways.
Paul must have drawn something unexciting.
Yeah. All right. So this is an attack for a bunch.
So now it's up to Paul to decide how much he wants to sack.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right.
Yep. This is attack for 5 currently.
Okay.
We're gonna see if Paul decides to sack the Spring Leaf, to sack the Opal.
Yeah, I like both of those lines.
I mean, I definitely would sack the Spring Leaf right now.
Yeah, he has another Signal Pest in hand, which is okay. I think he's gonna go both.
If you leave the Opal up, that means you have.
Oh, he's gonna sack the Ink Moth too.
Yeah.
All right, so now this is for much more.
So now this is for 3 more.
Yeah, so it's for 8. Okay, so Ned gonna go to 9. All right, Ned at 9, and Ned is just dead next turn, barring something miraculous.
Yes.
And here's another Signal Pest. That's crazier. The thing is like stuff like Stony Silence doesn't even save you now.
Stony Silence doesn't save you.
He does have a Finks. He's gonna gain some life. Yeah.
I don't believe this is enough.
So he's gonna go. How many counters does that Ravager have on it? 5, 4, 4 counters. So
no, that's 4 counters.
yeah. Okay.
So he'll attack with everything, and then Ornithopter would be 2, Vault Scourge would be 3, and Ravager will be 4, and both the Signal Pest will be 1. So this will be lethal once he just moves the Ravager counters onto a flyer.
Yeah. TX Rager, I like keeping the Opal in case you get Galv Blast. That is a very real consideration. He did draw another Spring Leaf.
Yeah.
So okay, so here comes all the sacking. So it looks like he's gonna attack, get the Battle Cry triggers, and then put everything onto the Vault Scourge and win the game with 4, 5.
Ooh, this might not be enough. I think Paul may have misplayed here a little bit. Because the Signal Pests are doing 1 by themselves, so there's no reason to sack it.
Yeah.
And if...
Ned scoops to it, though.
Okay, we may have had the life totals a little incorrect. But I think the most optimal line was you attack with all your flyers, Ornithopter attacks as a 2/2, the Signal Pest attack as a 1/1, and Vault Scourge attacks as a 3/3, right?
Yeah.
So that's 6 power right there. You sack the Dark Steel, you sack the Spring Leaf, that makes 6 power that you can move onto a flyer, and that's 12.
Yeah, okay, so somewhere in there was a lethal line, we promise.
Yeah.
So that we're going to go to game 3 here, Abzan Company versus Affinity, and as we saw, right, like, as you said, turn 2, 8 permanents in play for Affinity. It's very difficult to beat that without the hate.
Right, and just to clarify, we're not exactly sure what they communicated.
Yeah.
Paul may have just explained what he was doing and scooped up his cards.
Yeah.
we're not necessarily sure that he had misplayed that or anything.
Absolutely.
Without having.
Oh yeah, it's entirely possible that he was like, I'm gonna do this, and then started to like pick up his cards because he had won already.
Right.
Yeah.
So without
we'll see.
without
We'll
the
see.
audio, it's sometimes a little difficult to tell exactly what's happening. But there was definitely a lethal line there. Ned, I mean, could have had Slaughter Pact, which would have been a blowout.
He didn't have a Black Source in play.
Oh, did he not have a?
No.
Oh no. Well, okay. could have potentially
Blow
delayed.
you out with Slaughter Pact, lose the game on my upkeep because I don't have a Black Source. That's not what you want.
I have done that.
I
Before.
believe you, Daniel. You've done a lot of things with Slaughter Pact.
I've also Slaughter Pact, and then they proceed to play a Fulminator, and I was like, get your land?
Yeah, dog. Slaughter Pact is a dangerous card.
It is.
Cards that say you lose the game on them generally are high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna, if you're, actually now as we look over at the view, we have 82 people watching us tonight. That is awesome. That's one of the highest viewer counts that we've had in, basically since we've since we've restarted the stream about a month ago. So we really appreciate you guys watching, appreciate you interacting in the chat with us. We're located on the north side of Chicago, off the Belmont Red Line stop at MTG Card Market, and basically every day this store is having stuff that's going on. So this is a great place to come and play Magic. As you look at the board here for Paul, it's got some Ancient Grudges, Spell Pierce, some stuff. Looks like he took out some Memnites maybe.
Yeah,
He's thinking about Master of Ethereum, which is like a very it's very like draw dependent how good it is. He also has Stubborn Denial in that deck. Yeah. Stubborn Denial.
Yeah, Stubborn not an unreasonable call. Gearport Aether Grid as well.
Yeah.
Seems like reasonable to bring that in as well. It gives you a way to like shoot down a lot of the nonsense. Post board with Aether Grid Affinity, you can play a much more grindy game. But again, it's unclear, and that gives you a way to beat Stony Silence. Stony Silence notably not shutting off Aether Grid because the enchantment is tapping stuff.
And if you have four artifacts, it's like good luck trying to combo, right?
Oh, absolutely. All your dudes just all of a sudden, like, when you build out your board, you get 3-4 pings a turn.
Yeah.
It's hard to play into that.
Right, and the thing with Aether Grid too is like, there's very little that Ned has against it other than like Kasali Pride Mage,
sure,
which is already being taxed, right? So
right,
and so you gotta like.
There's potentially a Reclamation Sage in the board. Like,
maybe.
Yeah, all these cards are fine, but again, there's so many targets already for
if you don't Kasali their plating, I think there's something wrong.
Right.
You need to Kasali the plating and then be like, cool, can't worry about anything else. So we'll see if Paul can have something crazy like he did this previous in game 2. Or if, Ned, by being on the play, will get the advantage back and just turn 3 him or something.
Yeah, I mean, Ned also has a turn 3. Paul, we saw there, had the turn 3 draw, but Ned happened to have a Malaria to stop that.
Yeah.
Albeit, he still had the turn 4 kill.
Right, it was still dead.
It's still fine. But,
Yeah.
I mean, the format is very, very... The decks in the format right now are very, very good at doing what they do.
Yeah, such as killing you on turn 4.
Right, like, this is obviously a much slower draw. I mean, I already see like 3-4 lands.
I see 4 lands, 2 Steel Overseers. That's a little bit slow. I think you've got to... Well, he's showing it to the camera too. What a fellow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And that is one of the issues with Affinity. Like, your powerful draws, I mean...
Yeah.
They're incredible.
But your weak draws are so bad. Oh my god.
Right. And like for normal decks, like, hey, you had lands and spells. Like, no, for most decks, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like here, you really need a payoff card.
Absolutely.
Or you're just not doing anything. And Steel Overseer, while excellent,
very slow.
Very slow.
And you want like the classic like Steel Overseer into double Ornithopter sort of board.
On turn 1. Sort of thing.
You go like Ornithopter, Opal, Dark Steel, Steel Overseer, go. Like,
right.
How do you win?
If your play is land go, land, Steel Overseer, and that's all you've done on turn 2,
there you're not winning.
You're not in good shape, especially against a deck that, I mean, can turn 3 you.
It has the turn 3.
The turn 3 is very difficult because you need all the pieces on time. But the turn 4 is much more reasonable.
I mean, you just go like, yeah. I mean, turn 1 you play a birds, turn 2 you play a Finks, turn 3 you play, you play Melira, and then you play Visceraseer, and you win.
Right. Or I mean, you also have Collected Company as
Yeah.
ways to
All
come
right.
onto it.
So this hand looks again a little bit slow, but I think Paul is gonna be forced into keeping it. I don't know if he has any 1-drops or 0-drops, honestly.
Yeah, slow hand, but card with
Okay.
powerful things.
Has a Galv Blast here. I'm not sure if he has a way to cast that. Right? Oh, I guess might have a Springleaf Drum. So he does have the colored mana to cast the Galv Blast, but again, his only threat is an Etch Champ. Okay. One thing going for Paul this game, he has the feared Etched Champion plating combo.
Sure.
So, barring a Stony Silence, it should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Although, if there is a Stony Silence right now, the Dark Steel in his hand gets shut off, the Springleaf gets shut off, and he's effectively on 1 mana.
Yes. And that's the danger of being on the draw. If they can, if you don't have a good turn 1 and they turn 2 Stony you.
Yeah. Oh, there's a Kasali Pride Mage right there. All right. Well, there's no Stony Silence, but it's close. That's not it. Okay, so Anafenza going to come out.
Anafenza.
Concealing the Pride Mage is something that I like. Master of Ethereum here. Interesting.
So it looks like
there's
Paul-
a Steel Overseer. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Paul's hand is just a glut of 2 and 3 drops.
Yeah.
Some
very powerful 2 and 3 drops, though.
Right, so if he draws a land next turn or Opal, he has the option of potentially.
All right. This is.
Right, so if he draws a land next turn, he has the option of potentially playing two drops.
I'm not sure he has I think he just has plating as his other 2-drop, though.
Oh, okay, because he has a Galv Blast, which is not.
Yeah. Oh, he is going to use the Galv Blast on the Anafenza. I think probably in response to the bolster trigger.
Yep.
Or no, in response to the Finks being cast.
Yes.
No reason to give him that bolster trigger.
Yeah.
But okay, so here, I think he can play Plating Vault Scourge this turn, and that is where it starts getting spooky. Pretty slow hands from both players.
Right, he can play Plating Vault Scourge and still be able to activate Steel Overseer, which is, 2/2 lifelinker in the air, quite good, and then you're threatening like 7, 8, 9 next turn.
Absolutely. Obviously this doesn't account for the Pride Mage, but it looks like he's just going to go 3 mana, maybe just get the Etched out there, yeah. Because now the plating has haste, right? Like, if this does work out for Paul, he can just start doing brutally unfair things with the plating Etched combination. But that being said, there is a Pride Mage in Ned's hand, and I have to imagine that Kasali Pride Mage almost exclusively targets cranial plating.
Yeah. Or hold a removal for like a lethal Inkmoth or something.
Sure. Another 3-drop though. Here's another Finks.
Here's another Finks.
All right, 23.
Assuming Paul doesn't do anything else, if all he does is play plating and equip, that is an attack for 7, I believe.
Okay, that's not unreasonable. Okay, so it looks like there's going to be a Path to Exile that takes out the Steel Overseer here.
Okay.
So, this gives Paul a fair lot of mana to work with.
Yeah, Paul can definitely dump his hand. Master of Ethereum is obviously enormous.
Yeah, it's not that big, I guess. Like,
it'll be reasonably big, right?
Yeah, it'll be the thing with the Master is it'll be enough to like hold the Finks off on the ground,
right?
Or just pressure them, honestly. Because right now, if you play the Master, it's a 4/4.
Yeah. So these Kitchen Finks, incredibly fair, playing incredibly fair magic.
Yeah.
But potentially buys you an entire extra turn. And for a combo deck, like if someone says have an extra turn, like by all means.
Yeah. So here I think Paul definitely has a line of play Vault Scourge, pay the Phyrexian mana, and then play and equip plating, and still have mana left over to do stuff. Oh wow, and a Glimmer Voice. So he can almost do everything. He can do either Vault Scourge plating or he can do the Master of Ethereum things.
Yeah, so it has access up to 5 mana here.
Which is kind of nutty.
Yeah, so
let's see what he does. All right, 2 mana. Plating, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Whoa. Oh, here we go.
Oh, so we're going for the infect kill here.
All right, so what's the So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 infect.
This is 6.
All right. So Ned doesn't actually have any infect yet. That's left over from last match, but he's gonna go to 6 infect. The game is almost over. Oh, I guess the Pride Mage comes down.
The Pride Mage will save him.
But I mean, the thing is, so the Pride Mage takes the plating, right? He's still on a 2-turn clock if Paul jams the Master because it'll buff the Ink Moth.
So what he can do is he can also shoot the Ink Moth instead.
Yeah, but then the
Which-
plating's
which-
on the champion, right?
Right, which doesn't feel good, but does prevent you from being on a 2-turn clock.
Sure. Ned gonna fetch here. I can't tell if that's a Shockland or not up there. It doesn't look like it. We're gonna put in the 21.
Now, if Ned has a Coco here or a Cord, we're in business.
I think he has a Pride Mage and a land.
We are not in business.
Oh no, he has a Pride Mage and a Cord. I lied.
Okay. Cord of Calling, quite powerful here.
Cord of Calling for Kataki, though, probably not good enough.
Kataki's not good enough here.
All right, this is an attack for 6, though. Paul gonna go to 14. And Ned is gonna hold up Cord for 2.
Cord for 2. I'm not sure what.
Malira.
Sure.
That buys you an entire turn.
Yes. More than an entire turn. It's a lot. It's a
Here
big
we go.
commitment.
I like this line a lot.
So the one reason I'm not a huge fan of this is this doesn't enable you to Cord for 3 on the off chance he doesn't go for the infect kill. If
Yeah.
you only attack with 1 Kitchen Finks, you could Cord for 3, get an Ewit,
Sure.
and then continue cording.
Yeah, you're right. Here we have this is interesting. Paul could potentially play the Vault Scourge, animate Ink Moth. Oh no, he doesn't have enough to put the plating at instant speed then. Okay, so he's a mana short of doing that. His hand is double Vault Scourge, Master of Ethereum. But see, so the thing is like, Cord for. If you Cord here for Malira, right? That Ink Moth does.
Normal damage.
Oh.
This is the case we were talking about previously, when
All right, 1, 2, 3. So base power 1, plating 1, champion drum thing 6 again.
Plus the damage from that champion.
6. Okay, so it's 6 infect, 2 regular right now, but that may change. Here's the Malira.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So this is going to be take 8 damage.
To 13. All right.
Right. And just reiterate, this is the case we were talking about previously.
Jeez.
if you flash in Malira,
Yeah.
the infect gets dropped and does normal damage for that turn and that turn only.
Right. So, gonna go to 13 here. There is the potential play both other Vault Scourges, which I sort of like.
Yeah, I mean,
It costs you a fair bit of life, but
to play the both Vault Scourges means just that you can attack for more damage next turn.
It makes your Master draw
when you
nutty.
play the Master.
yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. He sees. He's a believer.
Yeah. So Paul's gonna go down to 10 here.
He might not play the second one. I think he's gonna hold this up.
Okay.
Okay. What's the draw step? Let me see. Oh, another land. Okay. So land here from Ned.
At this
we go.
point, you're priced into playing that Quetzalcoatl Pride Mage.
You have to. You have to shoot the plating.
There's too many scenarios here where you can get lethal.
He's gonna fetch to 12. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, Ned also had a. Oh, this was not the draw with the Township.
No.
Yeah.
That was a different game. He does have a Horizon Canopy. He can redraw.
And I think that's what he's going to go for. Drawing Viscera Seer here just wins you the game.
It does indeed just win you the game. Yeah, I mean, barring like additional. Oh, I didn't see what it was.
That looked like a Viscera Seer.
Oh my god! You are kidding me right now.
Alright. So,
Wow.
we're,
Well.
we're not out of the woods yet.
Galv Blast into hit you with my Ink Moth is a game-winning line.
Yep.
That should not have died. That should come back.
We're now taking the quick shortcut of infinite scries.
Yes. You can't change the order of the deck, but you can find out where you want to cut it.
Right. You can cut the deck to pretty much anywhere you want. He's going to presumably cut to a
Does he?
right now.
He can't cast the red cap though.
He can't draw the red cap.
Say what?
There's no way to draw a card right now.
No. What I'm saying is, if he scries red cap to the top, he can't play it. He doesn't have double black. He can just draw. This is why I'm saying you put Cord on top.
Oh, right. This should be a scry for Cord.
Yeah, because then you just Cord for red cap.
Yeah.
Badam, in for 6. One of them can't attack because he did the infinite life stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be an attack for 3. Left player 9.
No, attack for 4. Exalted.
Oh my goodness.
Ned, remembering the Kusali Pride Mage has Exalted.
An instance of that trigger. Oh, and it's not a Galv Blast.
Yeah, so Paul had one draw step to find the Galv Blast and win the game. Master is not going to be enough here.
I mean, he can just, he can attempt to wait to draw out, but assuming there's a Cord on top, he's just going to gain a life.
Paul's going to, gain a life.
Wow. Yo, Horizon Canopy into Viscera, pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Ned knew what his outs were, so and he played to him.
Wow.
Admittedly, it was a little bit lucky, but also it wasn't just Viscerous here, right? Quarter Calling was good.
Cord was good.
Collecting
Coco was good.
was probably good.
Right. Coco being probably good. Gotta love the variance there.
Yeah, so we're going to see if Ned got a Coco or if he didn't look at his lands and got a red cap.
Oh, please. Don't give him another draw step, Ned.
Oh, it looks like he may have gotten the red cap.
No! At least this is a Malira, not an Anafenza, and he's not just dead to the crack from Inkmoth, right?
Yeah.
No, Ned, how could you? You were the chosen one.
Importantly, Ned also has infinite scry, so
yeah,
he
needs to be doing that.
He can do that again. Ned can also
wait, but what is he? Oh, he can just scry a land. You're right.
Yeah, he can just scry a land.
Oh no! Oh my god! Yo, was I right or was I right?
Yeah, no.
In his shame, Ned has to scry a land to the top because he doesn't have double black for red cap. Double black is sometimes hard to hit in this deck. I've talked to a couple people.
Double black
is a thing you have to really work on.
It's incredibly hard.
But
to hit.
just get a shock land, Ned. Do it. Put a shock land right on top.
Oh no, he oh okay.
What's happening?
He accidentally reordered his deck. He brought something to the front. I think he caught it in time and fixed it.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to matter either, but
draw step.
Important to not do that.
Whoop. Some land. What the heck is that? It's a Rex Sage. Ned.
Oh, he may have taken out the red
Did
cap.
he take the red cap out? Oh my god.
Alright, so if he took the red cap out, it should be a scry for Anafenza.
Because you can make infinity big creatures.
Yes.
Amazing. Galblast. Oh, okay. Nope, not Galblast.
Alright. Yeah, so it looks like Ned took out the red cap.
Yeah. Alright, we're gonna put, I don't know how to, what's the best way to make an infinity thing here? Just
large.
I can't do more than 2 digits. We're gonna just go 99.
Yeah.
Alright. Ned has 99 life, guys, but in reality he has infinite life. Scry, all the things, yet again. Ding, 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 ding. What's in your library, Ned? Oh my god, the fact that the red cap isn't in the deck right now is just no, please.
Yeah, so we're looking, what?
Have mercy.
I'm not even seeing the Anafenza. There's a chance that the Anafenzas were taken out.
Why? Why would you take... No, he has an Anafenza. It's in the graveyard.
Oh, so then we just get an Eatwit, and we play that.
Oh, please. Alright. This is the, Robert BP2, yes, but you can keep doing it forever.
So the combo is, you can make super large...
Oh my god. Oh my god, he drew the Galblast.
Oh.
There was a path. So Ned scried path to the top. He can Pride Mage the Inkmoth, though. So
yes.
Here,
so it's not lethal.
Okay.
Robert, to get back to you, if you have Malira and Anafenza, the Malira resets a creature, but you get a bolster trigger, and in response to that, you can sack again and get infinite bolster triggers.
For Marauder MC, the way that the combo works is you have Malira Sylvok Outcast on the battlefield with a Viscera Seer and a Kitchen Finks. So you sacrifice your your Kitchen Finks to Malira, but it can't get -1/-1 counters. And that means that...
Alright, so it looks like Ned originally scried a Quarter Calling to the top.
Okay. But he's gonna chord for. Oh, he's just gonna chord for another Melira. No. Wait, this does regular damage. Doesn't matter. Okay.
This does regular damage. It doesn't really matter.
Okay. Drum. Jeez.
And Marauder. Yeah. So when you reset the Kitchen Finks, it comes back normally.
Yeah.
But you gain 2 life. So you just do it again, and you gain 2 more life.
The fact that this game isn't over yet is a little bit amusing.
Right. So it looks like Ned took out a lot of his win cons.
No. A lot of them.
So,
All of them.
Yeah, so what we're looking for, if he has an Eternal Witness, he can start doing pretty degenerate things.
Eternal Witness wins the game.
Orzhov
Orzhov Pontiff.
Pontiff is also fine.
Kill your board. Sure. I mean, he's just going to have to, like, attack with Finks and stuff. Sack it to Seer.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to bring it Haunting the Rex Sage.
Yep, get a free Scry.
Oh, my goodness.
So
this is a bizarre game of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, so he's gonna sack it
wow,
again,
that's
and it's
good.
gonna kill it. Right.
Okay, so guys, this is a weird effect. Orzhov Pontiff, not exactly your everyday card. Basically, gives everything -1/-1 on your opponent's team when it comes in. And this is an attack for 8.
So yeah, Ned also had attacks with Kitchen Finks for the last 4 or 5 turns.
I
Just
agree.
free attacks.
Yeah.
One is going to die to the Ed Champion, but
And Paul is gonna no, the Edge Champion is. Oh yeah, you're right.
yeah, the Ed Champion is pro colors, but it just comes back.
Yeah. Okay, so Paul is going to
Scoop
scoop it up. Abzan Company taking it down in a bizarre game 3 against Affinity.
Right. And look, so it looks like Ned boarded out the Anafenzas and the
Red Caps,
which means that
he kept one Anafenza in though. That's what confuses me.
oh, if he had kept the Anafenza in, he did it just like
His Anafenza got Galblast in like turn 2.
oh, maybe he took out all the Eternal Witnesses then.
How many? No, because the deck has to play like what? It's like 5 Anafenza Melira effects, right?
Right.
So he probably had the Meliras and maybe shaved an Anafenza.
Yeah,
So like 3 Meliras, 1 Anafenza, and then just his Anafenza died and he didn't have an Ewit.
Yeah, must have boarded out all the Eternal Witnesses and the Red Cap.
Yeah. So
Well, which to be fair, Eternal Witness usually
very slow.
Very slow, very slow. But it's having access to 1 in the toolbox deck.
Yeah.
It gives you access to a lot of degenerate things.
Yeah, I mean, I really, at least, okay, so I will say that at least Ned, despite not having the combo, did find a way to win, so it's not super feels bad.
Right, and this is, again, not a very easy line to see.
Yeah.
To get Orzhov Pontiff, shrink your board,
Yeah.
and then sack the thing that's haunting
Yeah.
to get this second effect to kill all the champions. That's a fairly convoluted line that's often difficult to see, and also to describe a path to the top to make sure that
Kill the Master.
you can kill the master as well.
Yeah. So yeah, Orzhov Pontiff, guys, really weird card. When it enters the battlefield, you either give your team +1/+1 or give their team -1/-1. And when it dies, you put it into play like sort of attached to a creature called Haunting It. And then when that creature dies, you get to choose the same effect again. So like you can either pick your team +1, their team -1. So what happened there was Ned went Orzhov Pontiff minus your team, sack Orzhov Pontiff to Viscera, put it on Rex Sage, sack Rex Sage, trigger Pontiff again,
and
kill your Edge
Right.
Champions.
And that-
Haunt is bizarre.
And that is a way to get around Edge Champion's protection from colors.
Yes.
Because this affects their entire board, so nothing is being targeted.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Edge Champion will shrink to a 1/1 and then to a 0/0, which conveniently will kill it.
Yeah. Looking at the boards here, Paul has a couple Whip Flares and a couple Thought Seizes that he looks like he brought it in. Those seem really good. Obviously, like Whip Flare, basically just like one-sided Pyroclasm.
Yeah, absolutely.
You do it.
We're gonna run out. Double check the time. Make sure that our timer here isn't wrong. We might throw it to a quick intermission,
Depending on the time left,
depending
yeah.
on the time left. Yes.
Yeah. But in the meantime, while Dan goes and checks what's happening out there, I'll be here, talking, just rambling a little bit. Okay, so Dan has informed me that there's a couple minutes left in the round, so we're going to throw it back to the booth here as Dan comes back. So yeah, some really, really exciting stuff happened in Magic recently. One of those being the Pro Tour with New Standard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Games were won in the Pro Tour finals by control decks decking themselves.
Right.
As someone who plays blue decks in Modern, I was so happy.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we haven't seen in a long time. When your deck is so threat light,
Right.
and you have so much removal,
Kill all your gear hulks.
yeah.
What do you do?
kill all your threats. And
Yeah.
especially when the counter magic is weak enough that, like,
Yeah.
before you could, like, craft a hand of, 1 threat, 7 counter magic, six
Six
counter
spells,
magic,
yeah.
and then you can fight over that.
Yeah.
Now, like, the counter magic is so weak, you can't even fight for that.
Absolutely not.
So removal just resolves.
Right. So yeah, Torrential Gear Hulk putting in some serious work.
Yeah, it'll stand to see this weekend whether or not the PT meta was kind of, inbred, if you will.
Yeah.
We have 2 GPs coming up this weekend in Providence and 1 in Kuala Lumpur.
They're both standard.
Both are standard. So
nice.
we'll see what was real and what wasn't.
Yeah, and I think, and I think a lot of people are going to obviously try to run back what they saw at the Pro Tour. One deck that was like a startlingly large percentage of the meta was Aetherworks Marvel decks.
Yeah, I think a lot of the big teams thought they broke the format with Marvel. There were several of the big name teams. Every member walked in to that PT on Marvel.
With,
and it was,
with 8 Eldrazi Titans in their deck.
right, and it was a very, very strong, a very, very powerful deck. However, this might possibly explain why all of the blue-white decks, all of the blue decks, did so well.
Turns out that Void Shatter, your Aetherworks Marvel, is super good.
Yeah, Ceremonious Rejection, every threat in your deck is just quite good.
More. Yeah. Well, and the thing is like that deck is, like, oh, I have an Aetherworks Marvel, or I don't have an Aetherworks Marvel, and I'm hitting you with Glintness Cranes. Like, that's garbage.
Right, exactly. So yeah, there's a chance that that deck was only good at the PT. I mean, admittedly, the deck is doing powerful things, so it's like not complete garbage. But we've seen in the last couple of PTs the meta shift, quite significantly from where it was at the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
Some decks weren't even discovered at the Pro Tour.
Absolutely. And El Rafael, Shota himself said the deck is trash outside the PT. That is a very entertaining interview. If you go watch it, the Wizards interviewer asked through a translator to Shota, like, what is, people are going to try to play this deck. What is your advice for them? And he says, literally just says, don't try it. Yeah. So, like, clearly Shota's probably going to walk into his FNM with Aetherworks Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't care.
And I'm not sure if that's a, don't try it, I'm a better player than you.
Or don't try it because this deck is trash outside the Pro
Right,
Tour.
and either one could be valid. The real test would be, like, at a GP, where, like, a lot of the tier 1 decks have been discovered.
Yeah.
And now when you go into a field of 2,000 players as opposed to one with like 400 players,
Right.
what really actually is good?
When your matchup, like, I'm not saying it's unlosable, but the matchup against more than 25% of the Pro Tour field was Aetherworks Marvel, and the matchup for that Grixis control deck is like, it's not unlosable, but it's really, really hard to lose.
It must be good.
Because you just, like, Void Shatter their Aetherworks Marvel, and you don't care about anything else unless, they go, like, unless they try to, like, hardcast Emrakul or something.
Right. And at 4, you have Unwavering for, even if they try to hardcast, like, an Ulamog or something.
You have a Summary Dismissal.
Summary Dismissal. Sorry, what did I say?
Unwavering?
That's not even a card.
Yeah, Dan, what are you doing?
I'm just saying words.
Get together. But yeah, this card.
Yeah, you even have Summary Dismissal for, they try to just hardcast the Ulamog, hardcast Emrakul, and you have this. With, backup for, you have a second one out through Torrential Gear Hulk.
Okay, make a 5/6 counter your Emrakul and the trigger and everything for 6 mana is after you've already done it once. Like, there's just not enough. Like, the deck doesn't have enough selection. Also, with Aetherworks Marvel decks, like, you play 8 Eldrazi Titans, so theoretically you could open with Emrakul Ulamog in your opening hand.
Yeah, and that's kind of the problem.
That feels bad, man.
A lot of players, if you play in Legacy, if you play Legacy Elves, there's so many hands where you draw the Progenitus. If you play Reanimated, there's a lot of times where it's like, oh, here's
draw
like
multiple Gristlebrands.
have multiple Gristlebrands and
Emrakuls and stuff. Yeah.
There's a lot of like comically unplayable cards when you're playing like a sort of a combo deck.
Mm-hmm.
This has the benefit of like eventually you can just hardcast a lot of these things. Like, the Marvel deck does sort of play like a pseudo Delirium deck.
Mm-hmm.
You do have Vessels and stuff. So you Emrakul costs like 8 or so, which is fine.
Yeah.
But again, it's not quite the turn 4, wreck your world.
Mm-hmm. Question for chat.
Hawkman, I am not going to the SCG. I'm actually going to GP Providence,
Yeah.
which is this weekend.
Yeah. The other thing that is happening this weekend, so we not only have two, first GPs of the season for Standard, but we also have a Modern Open in Milwaukee for SCG.
Right, and this is the first, this is the first major Modern event after Kaladesh. So we're gonna
see. All right.
We're gonna see how good Cathartic Reunion really is.
This is probably the most hyped card for Modern.
Yeah, we're gonna see if Bomat Courier is real. I'm less excited about Bomat Courier. I'm a lot more hype on
this card.
Cathartic.
Is actually insane. Like, Dredge did not need this card, but
Right.
now it has this card, and we are all going to feel the classic, like, okay, turn 1 Neonate, Dredge my Grave Troll. Turn 2, cast Cathartic Reunion, pitch Grave Troll, that you dredge back that you got back in your hand with the Neonate draw. Grave Troll, Stinkweed Imp. Draw, dredge 6. Draw, dredge 5. Draw, dredge 6, right? So 6 on the first turn, so you're talking like 23 cards deep
You get
on
it.
turn 2.
Yeah, about
that's a
halfway through.
lot of power.
But the dredge deck very powerful. But we've seen weekends where if people like prepare for it, if
Right.
everyone's playing some of Graph Digger's Cage, like
It gets hated.
Yeah,
The dredge deck does get hated. But people, if you are going to SCG Milwaukee, for the love of God, play Graveyard Hate. You can't not. Like, this card just came out. Like, don't get dredged, guys. Like,
Right.
Jesus.
And some of the bigger decks, some of the Gearhulks might see some play. It's unlikely because 5 and 6 are kind of expensive.
I could see, like, a one of Torrential Gearhulk for fun in, like, a Jeskai list, but
Yeah.
it's not the other. What are the other ones you're thinking about?
I saw.
Right.
I'm not sure how playable it is, but a deck with what's it called? With the red Gearhulk.
Okay.
And like varying degrees of nonsense.
Sure. What do you?
A Tron-esque deck.
Oh. I guess if you go mill my Karn, mill my Ugin,
If you mill anything,
mill my O-Stone, you're fine.
yeah. I mean, the red Gearhulk much less exciting if it only deals 6. Much more if it has a potential to deal
15, yeah. Yeah, 15 you with my 5/5 first strike or whatever
Right.
it is.
Other than that, like the big players, we're gonna see all the fast lands.
Yeah.
The fast lands are gonna clean up a lot of people's mana bases.
Which Gearhulk is it, by the way? It's Combustible Gearhulk, sure.
Right. The fast lands are the clear inclusion. There's a bunch
True.
of decks that are just gonna jam a ton of them.
All right. For example, Abzan, Blooming Marsh.
Maybe.
Yeah?
Maybe.
Abzan Concealed Courtyard.
Less likely.
Okay.
Spire Bluff definitely. Spire Bluff would definitely see a lot of play.
Storm decks.
Yeah.
If you're still on Storm, it's been a long time. You're probably really, really sad because Storm's just been getting pooped on for, years now.
Right.
But Spire Bluff is way better than Sheevan Reefs. So
For sure. We also, Blossoming Defense will certainly see inclusion in
that
Infect
card
decks.
seems really good.
And then past that,
Woo, yeah. Give your guys hexproof.
yeah. So it looks like round 3 just started. I'm gonna
Yeah.
run out and see if we can grab a match.
Grab a match. All
Matt's
right.
gonna throw it down to the play area, and we'll get you round 3 started shortly here.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll throw it down to the play overlay. We can chat a little bit about Blossoming Defense. This card is sometimes it's okay, it's not as good as Vines, but other times it's really, really good. Just more hexproof effects in the Infect deck that also pump. Obviously the comparison here is Ranger's Guile, right? Look at this card. This card's not playable in Infect. It's just not. It doesn't do enough damage. But Blossoming Defense, that extra +1/+1 is a lot because consider that is 10%. El Rafael, I really like Blossoming Defense and Infect because it gets around Spellskite. Absolutely, no, 100%, dude. Target my creatures, not your creatures. Very relevant when Spellskite comes down. And that that's obviously very powerful. But just more ways to deal with spot removal that like also make your creatures bigger, right? Like you have 4 Vines of Vastwood, one of the best cards for the deck, but now you have Blossoming Defense. And so Tohu Sehu suggested in the chat you can replace Apostle's Blessing and play Distortion Strike. Very true. Apostle's Blessing is, obviously, like, Apostle's Blessing has utility for getting through, but yeah, as you mentioned, you can just play Distortion Strike as your, way of getting through blockers. So yeah, here we're going to get a match from the sweater sleeves. I'm guessing it's Simon Camarao on the right, and I don't know who it is on the left, but yeah, it's definitely Simon there. So, Dan, who are we watching?
We are watching 2 people with indeterminate names.
Simon Camarao?
This is not Simon.
It's not Simon? Can you go find out their names?
Yeah, Sherman's going to be coming out here.
Okay.
But this is going to be
it's not Simon.
2 different decks here. This is going to be, 2 different decks from even tonight. This is Green-Red Tron versus Blue-Black Control.
Blue-Black Control?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. What is the Blue-Black Control deck doing?
Controlling things.
Is it like Esper, but without the white splash?
I didn't get a chance to look at his deck, so not actually sure.
Well,
this is the 2-0 bracket though, so
I'm impressed. We don't know which one is which, do we? Which side is Tron on?
I believe this side was the left side here is Tron.
Okay, we're gonna put this person on Tron, and just hope that you didn't deceive me. Tron and Blue-Black Control. I'm very, very interested to see this deck. I hope he has at least one Ashiok Nightmare Weaver. That's all I ever really want to see in a Blue-Black deck.
Oh, I've gone much deeper. I'm hoping for Phyrexian Obliterators.
That's a lot.
I mean, it's asking for a lot.
Okay, so we have Braham Thomas on Blue-Black Control versus Bob Nisivocia on Tron. Still not sure which one is which, but I guess we'll find out really quickly. Yes. Yeah, so this, like we said, this is the 2-0 bracket, so these guys having a pretty good night so far. Alright, so looks like Tron on the right.
Yeah, it looks like Tron on the right. There's a Damnation.
Jesus.
Damnation, not the greatest against Tron.
Yeah, Worm Coil, real bad against it, and oh boy. Okay, so Darkslick Shores turn 1 for this Blue-Black Control. Give me one moment here to get this overlay squared away. Fortunately, life totals haven't changed yet. And then right player name. Yeah, so
We got Tron Land and the Sphere.
classic. So this is Bob.
Alright. So, Paul can't be pleased with seeing this. He does have a remand in hand.
Yeah. Okay, so the sphere does get cracked for green, and that's a Sylvan Scrying.
Which will get remanded
He
here.
needs to. Okay, he does realize he needs to crack the Polluted Delta. 19 Island.
So Bob hasn't shown any green sources here. So there's a chance that Sylvan Scrying
Is just stranded now.
is just stranded. Yep.
Right, and yeah, that's one of the things with Tron is if you get lucky in that way, like the Sylvan Scrying could be totally stranded.
Yeah. There's also the chance that Bob already has the Tron piece in hand.
Yeah. Unbound Wings, Thing in the Ice for Blue-Black Control. I hope it's Thing in the Ice for Blue-Black Control. And so yeah, draw for Remand, draw for turn. What? It's a sword? I think it's a Sword of Light and Shadow. No.
That looks like a Batter Skull.
Or okay, it's definitely a Batter Skull.
Okay, yeah,
I was incorrect. I am sorry, and I apologize.
Alright.
Yeah. So cracking there, draw a card. I'm assuming it's for green. Sylvan Scrying Part 2, the sequel?
If he's got a land, let's say it's a Grove. So
Okay. Well, I feel like you still remand.
yeah, I mean,
Mana pool's going to empty. He is also going to go to 20.
this is indicative of Bob not having Natural Tron,
Yeah.
which is
that's what you want to see. You're going to go back to 19 to fetch here, though.
yeah.
All right, so Blue-Black Control doing what control decks do. Stopping things from happening, but
we're-
honestly, this is such a hopeless matchup. Like, I'll be honest with you, like, if Blue-Black Control wins, I will be shocked. Shocked, I tell you.
Right. I mean,
You need to be playing like Goblin Guide and Lightning Bolt to beat Tron.
the problem here is that the stall game can only go so long.
Right. Sylvan Scrying is going to resolve.
And once it
turn.
does resolve,
That's the Tron.
you have Tron. Yeah.
GG.
Or if you, I mean,
Another Dark Slick is going to be the draw here. Well, no, you have Snap Remand, dog.
Yeah.
Why do you never be afraid?
sure, Snap Remand is fine.
Dude, Snap Remand, play Batterskull. Like, yeah, that's a clock right there. Okay, I mean,
So
I'm just like, as a person who plays primarily blue control decks in Modern, I am extremely worried about the fate of Brahim in the face of Karn.
right. Definitely not good.
Definitely play an untapped land if you have. Oh, maybe he has another counterspell. Not seeing it though.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here another sphere. Wow. So there's lots of green mana available, but again, no, the Sylvan Scrying has not yet resolved. I just can't tell what's in Braham's hand if he can stop it from happening. Maybe Braham had played the Tar Pit tap so he can just slam a Batterskull on turn 5 and just pray to the god that it's good enough.
I think Bob also has Ancient Stirrings in hand.
Sure.
So thinking about whether
he can
or not
he
wants
can
to do that.
Stirrings and no, he can't do both. Okay, he's going to crack, draw, make green.
Make a green.
No, so you use the colorless to crack the sphere.
Yeah.
And Sylvan Scrying again.
Third time's the charm.
Whew. Wow.
So we're gonna get the final Tron piece here. This looks, I believe this is a mine.
All these different Tron arts, dude. I don't even know anymore.
I'm pretty terrible at it.
Can we just play like the 8th edition ones or 9th edition ones? With the, it's very obvious which one is which. Standardize everything.
Yeah,
Freaking Tron.
I'm pretty atrocious at determining what
True.
what lands are what. Well, excuse me, which Tron lands are which.
True.
Hey,
Yeah.
one of the mines looks like a tower.
All right, so there's going to be another Grove. This is going to gain some life because he's going to go to 20 because here comes an Ancient Stirrings. This card is really good in Modern, guys.
Yeah, so-
If you're playing a deck with colorless, get this card.
Yeah, so Bob had the option of playing the last Tron piece.
Yeah,
this has
but-
the Ancient Stirrings
Yeah,
instead.
this is way more efficient because there's nothing you're casting off of 2 mana.
Right.
Colorless. Okay.
This is-
Oh,
yeah.
there's a card.
There's
All
a
That's
card.
the dream.
All right, so this is going to ensure that
Live the dream.
Bob has something to do with Tron next turn.
Oh, hey, what's up, Cubs fan 134? Glad you're joining us. Cryptic Command off the top. Woo!
Yeah.
Ripping like the control player, like control players love. But you know what? I'm still super pessimistic back here, and it's not because I'm like, oh, this is gonna go so badly for the. It's just this is what Tron does.
Yeah.
Tron does Tron things, and Blue by Control, like great draw so far. Really slowed him down, but.
I mean,
Don't
yeah.
let this resolve. This cannot resolve.
Yeah.
Snapcaster Remand this? Yeah, Snapcaster Remand
or
this.
just Cryptic this.
No. You Snapcaster Remand this. Because now you have a clock.
Sure, a 2 on clock.
Sure, but like the thing is you can Cryptic it next turn. There's nothing stopping you from doing that.
Right, absolutely.
So yeah, Snapcaster Remand, draw a card. Get that card advantage going. Vroom vroom. All right, 2 mana.
It comes fans.
Sylvan Scrying again.
Yeah.
Gonna gain some life. 21.
Now, fortunately, Sylvan Scrying can no longer get Eye Vugan, which would give you inevitability previously.
Tilt.
Now it just gets you a Sanctum of Ugin.
All right, that's quite good.
Sanctum of Ugin means that the threats will not stop coming once the first
And
one happens.
threats start coming and they don't stop coming. Yeah, so basically, Sanctum of Ugin lets you tutor stuff. It's a cash trigger. You can't do anything to stop it from happening. Okay. Hypothetically, Brahim has Cryptic on whatever the play is, and then Snap Cryptic on whatever the next play is. But it's just the clock isn't fast enough. The Snapcaster's only 2 power.
Yeah, and there's no bird from this deck. Like, you're not gonna have
Blue Black, I mean, you can have Psionic Blast.
you do not have. He's not running Psionic Blast. That's just not happening here.
Dude, if you just wanted Burn in blue, I'm not saying it's good.
Fair. I mean, so Bob finally taking his first points of damage.
Jesus.
Cubs fan. I believe he has another Snapcaster in hand.
Yeah, so he can just Cryptic. He can Cryptic Snap Cryptic naturally.
Yeah. Speaking of Cubs, how are the Cubs doing tonight?
Oh, we should check the score. If you're watching this game instead of the Cubs game, we thank you for being a loyal, devoted fan of Magic the Gathering. But that being said, we're looking here. All right, so it's the top of the 6th inning. The Cubs are up 5-2 with
Okay.
1 out. All right, go Cubs. I will say that I'm completely on the Cubs bandwagon. I'm not really a baseball person, but go Cubs, right? Okay, so there's an Ulamog in hand. Here we go. This is where you start losing the game because there's an Ulamog.
Yeah.
God, get him.
So Ulamog...
Cast trigger.
2 cast triggers. One from the Sanctum and one from the Exile effect. It would be interesting to see what Bob chooses to exile. Normally you get 2 land, but he might.
He's just going to get both. Oh, he's going to get the Snapcaster in a land.
Okay.
All right. Here, there's going to be some floating of some mana, and
So he's
that's going to be a Cryptic.
Cryptic and presumably bounce the Snapcaster as well?
I mean, you can save the Snapcaster here. The problem is that you don't have Snap Cryptic mana unless you rip an untapped land.
Sure, but you would have a Snap Snap Remand left.
Oh, he draws another Damnation.
Yeah. Damnation probably...
He also has another Snapcaster.
Sure.
But yeah, I do like bouncing the Snapcaster instead of drawing a random card there. But that's another Ulamog, which is just like another double Stone Rain.
Yeah.
Like you can't, and then there's still a Karn. Like
Yeah.
Dan, what do you even do?
The beasts don't stop coming. So Raham also had another play of Cryptic and bouncing the land to ensure that he had a 6th land to snap Cryptic this.
Yeah.
So the Thoughtseize is a very good draw, but he's not going to be thrilled by what he sees here.
Oh my god.
Oh my god,
Oh my god.
This is everything. Oh,
Ugin, Karn, Spellskite. I think there's another Karn in there. There's another Ulamog. You take the Ulamog, almost certainly.
This is
Take the Ulamog.
this is gross.
There's so many things there.
I mean, you have to take the Ulamog, right? That's the most
Yeah. I
that
think
you
he's
can't
gonna.
beat.
The problem is that Snap Thoughtseize isn't even good.
No, it's not. There's just so many more things.
Okay, we're gonna get to the end. So it looks like double Fire Spout, Karn, Ugin. Big vomit.
I don't know how you deal with that.
Dan, how do you win?
I don't
What's
know
your
how-
path to victory, Dan? These double Damnations in your hand aren't doing it.
So I mean,
Good take on the Ulamog, though. That's absolutely correct.
yeah.
So Snap Remand gonna counter whatever happens. Oh my god, he might have enough mana to just do everything. No, he doesn't. Okay.
I mean, we're getting pretty high in the mana count here.
You're
This is he now
9,
has
10, 11.
Yeah, this is 11 currently.
All right. Well, here comes the Ugin. It's gonna get Snap Remanded if there's
But again, like I'm not sure how you win the game. Right?
Oh, you definitely don't win the game. That's the problem. I'm so sorry, Dan, but this man is not winning the Magic.
Yeah, because normally your win cons are
Draw land.
Batterskull.
Oh, he drew an island. What a legend. I guess that the Spellskite sort of stops the Snapcaster beats, but the Snap Cryptic is going to come down. There's still 3
Does
huge...
he have another Snapcaster in hand?
He doesn't.
That was,
GG.
all right, so
That was his last Snapcaster. Should have bounced it with the Cryptic.
Yeah, so like Batterskull...
He's got another Thoughtseize, I think. Oh, wait, he Thoughtseize. We need to take his life.
Yeah, but Batterskull just really, really bad against Karn.
Yeah. Karn your Batterskull. Cool.
All
right. I want to believe, but this is not the X-Files. And there's a Tassiger? It doesn't matter, though. Oh, no.
Yeah, the Damnations are really unfortunate draws.
Yeah, if those were counter spells, that'd be great, but it's not.
Yeah.
And this is not looking good. This game has gone on for longer than I thought it would.
Yeah, I mean...
This is a brave and valiant fight. My control brother, you have fought well. It is okay. But it looks like this is just...
It's
freaking,
pretty grim.
You're freaking dead.
Yeah,
All right,
so...
Tassiger?
Playing Tasker is...
Sure, why not? I mean, I don't really think you have options. You just, they're going to play Ugin. They'll probably minus. And then you lose. Goodbye. Because the Ugin minus won't even kill the Spellskite, so...
Well, Ugas would need a -6.
Sure, comes in at 7.
Right.
That seems fine. There's no way he's burning your Ugin out.
Right, I mean, which
Unless
is
he
fine.
has a Psionic Blast, Dan.
I mean, you can also just play Karn and Karn minus it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What is the Tron Banteldrazi matchup like, Dan? Does Tron just destroy them?
A lot of times Banteldrazi can get under it.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is Ugin is way worse when all their creatures are colorless.
Ugin is comically bad.
Yeah. You've been bolted Displacer.
Yeah.
Congrats.
But I mean, Reality Smasher does a lot of work.
Yeah.
Thought Knot does a lot of work.
Yeah, taking their critical pieces early is good. Taking their threats later is fine.
And now post board, you also have access to Ceremonious Rejection.
Oh, jeez.
Because
is Band Eldrazi playing that?
Sure, why not?
I mean, it's only good against other Eldrazi decks who don't have Cavern.
Yeah, but I mean, why? That's the same place all decks are at, right?
That's true. Ceremonious Rejection, folks. Single blue mana. Oblivion Stone is the best card, Shizu. That seems very accurate. Yeah, this card also put in the Kaladesh. Very good. Like, this card is very, very good.
Right. So Brahim wanting to leave Cryptic Command in the graveyard means that he doesn't have Tasigur activation this turn, which means Bob can really, if he plays a Karn just gonna exile the Tasigur. If he plays Ugin can clear the board.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the dream is like you get Cryptic back or something if you
Yeah.
flip 2 lands to Tasigur, but...
He also has almost a free expedition. Oh, he does have a free expedition map. You play it with the tower, crack it, and just get another tower.
Yeah, and then, wow, cool. I developed my mana for free.
Right, completely
Yep, here it
free
is.
expedition.
Ba-ba! Flow mana, do it. Yep, there's the thumbs up. This is the sad thumbs up. This is like the, okay,
Right.
you're definitely getting this thumbs up.
Another possibility is to get another Sanctum, which is what
yeah.
it looks like he went for.
No. Wow. Have mercy.
The Sanctum again will ensure that the beats do not stop.
There's 2 Karns and an Ugin. How many more beats do you need?
Hey, you never know. You never know. This means that he can get another Ulamog.
All right. And now we're seeing some replies in the chat regarding Tron and Bant Eldrazi. Thank you for informing us, because quite frankly, I've played neither of these decks in a competitive setting. So
So the nice part about
Interesting.
getting Sanctum of Ugin, since it's an on-cast trigger,
Yep.
even if the Karn gets countered,
Yep.
you're still getting an Ulamog. This is just happening.
or another Karn.
Sure. Or
Oh
another-
wait, he can't do that. He can't do that. It's a creature card. Go fix it, Dan.
all right.
Oh wait, no, they fixed it. They
Yeah,
fixed it.
they caught it. It's not going to matter here.
World Breaker instead.
Word Breaker is also fine. all of these cards, fine.
Extremely fine.
There's just not much that Braun can do about this once the engine's kind of been established.
Yeah. Oh no. And they're bye. Karn, just gonna exile target permanent because that's what Karn does. What? Oh, it's just no comma. Haha, there we go. Karn liberated. Exile target permanent. Spellskite gonna get dismembered here for, I think, the full cost of dismember.
So that this
Figure
member
it out.
should be dead now. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Karn gonna get put to 1 by the Snapcaster. Things are not hopeful. Okay.
So-
Batter Skull. Okay, here's a problem with Batter Skull. The Germ token
Is black.
is black. And Ugin can -2.
And kill everything.
Yep. Okay, so plus target exile card from your hand, damnation. I mean, very dead, but also like ruh-roh.
Because of Karn's alt, you really should differentiate the cards exiled by Karn.
Yeah.
But this is not going to be. This game has passed the point of.
No return.
Yeah.
Yeah. Update on the Cubs game. Cubs fan 134. My father is screaming yes from the basement. That's all I got. Wow. Well, we will see. I think something may have happened. If that's what the. Oh, okay. The Cubs have scored 3 runs in the most recent inning. That explains a lot. Thanks, Cubs fan.
right.
Amazing. Back to the Magic. Okay, the game is over.
Yeah. The game. I think once the first Sanctum had popped, it was just game over. Especially with
so
the hand that
hard.
Bob had.
Just double damnation, not great into the Tron deck. But what can you like? Okay, Brahim, if he's next level, has like 4 ceremonious rejection.
Yes. But even that's not like. You're still getting the cast triggers.
Oh, you're not wrong, Dan.
Like the Ulamogs still are gonna exile 2 land.
What if you have summary dismissal? Don't play summary dismissal in Modern, guys. That was a joke.
Right. Yeah, the biggest problem is that the threats in blue-black are expensive. They're
Yes.
Batter Skull, they're Tasigur, they're cards of like
Especially in a deck that doesn't seem to be playing Thought Scour.
right, the cards like that, and all of that gets answered really easily by any of the big threats.
From
Right?
Tron.
Battered Skull is particularly bad because every card answers it.
Yeah, Ulamog, Karn, and Ugin all have their own special ways of just killing
let's
the
not forget,
Battered
the
Skull.
World Breaker also answers it.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Uh-huh.
I give up, Dan. How do you even win? You don't.
And Brian might have access to Fulminators, but even that's like kind of slow.
Stone Rain is not fast enough.
Right. There's no Crumble to Dust, so there's no like over the top nonsense.
Crumble the Dust feels great when you get to resolve it. I have had a Crumble the Dust Warping World, though. That's bad times, guys. All right, for those of you who want to see some sadness, so Crumble the Dust.
Just a better
Sowing Salt.
Sowing Salt.
All right, take your Tron land, take all your Tron lands. You're never getting Tron again in your life. Great. This card was cast in response. Mode, counter target sorcery spell. Guys, there was an untapped Urza's Mine in play, and he cast Warping Whale off of one land, and I lost the game. Yeah. Crumble the Dust, though, not in the blue-black deck. I'm going to stop being salty. Let's go. Both players sideboarding up for game 2.
Yeah, so Bob just taking out some of the removal, the fire spouts and whatnot.
Yeah.
Just not great.
This is not necessary.
Yeah,
you have Fire Spout, dog. Like, good card in a lot of matchups, but not this one.
An absolutely necessary
Cha-cha.
necessary concession to a lot of the aggressive decks.
Yep. So, Fire Spout, it's a 3 damage Wrath for 3. Affects flying and non-flying conditionally, depending if you have green or not. Most of the time, though, it's not going to matter. You're just going to cast it for red and do a lot of damage to their board. Against like a Delver, obviously, you need to pay green mana for it. But other than that, like, there's not a lot of flying threats that you're super worried about early enough that you want to kill a Fire Spout. Like, late game, obviously, it's like, oh, there's a Restoration Angel, but you've already won the game at that point, so...
both decks becoming a little more efficient. Unfortunately, in blue-black, there's just... Your answers aren't good enough, right? Tron has inevitability. Because, like, there are only 2 kinds of cards in this deck now. Cards that...
win the game and cards that set up the winners.
Pretty much, right. It's lands / cards that draw lands and ridiculous threats.
And, yeah, just like, the best colorless threats in the modern format. Just all of them.
And there are a lot now.
Right, especially with the printing of Ugin, with Ulamog, with World Breaker.
Yeah.
They're all so good.
Exactly. And like
before Ulamog got printed.
Before Ulamog got printed, you sometimes had difficulty beating Infinite Life. You would have to reset the game with Karn. Now it's just like, deck you.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Ulamog did a number. And also, okay, so here we go. Turn 1 Inquisition, gonna see a map, a scrying, an egg, 3 lands, Tron Peace Grove, and something I can't see up there, and Ancient Stirrings, map, scrying, star.
This is
Jesus.
I mean, this is pretty rough to see because you have 3 targets that are excellent, right? Ancient Stirrings, excellent. Scrying, excellent. Map, excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can't prevent all of that from happening.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So map gets taken just because it's a direct, like, he might have a counter spell or something for the scrying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Darkslick Swords, Inquisition, interestingly, pretty good if you leave it in because you can take their early stuff. But all right, here we go.
Yeah, Bob's just gonna play Tron Peace and Star.
Another Thoughtseize, nice.
We got Thoughtseize here. So it looks like we've got 4 land and a map.
Yeah, we will see. Cubs fan, Dan has decked someone at Infinite Life by just killing their whole board until they decked themselves.
Yeah.
It happened at GP Pittsburgh. His opponent was a Salt Fiend. It was beautiful, but also horrifying to watch.
He was on Coco Company, and I had a draw which had like no fetch lands, and he fetched like 4 or 5 times and played a bunch of Cocos and stuff. I managed to gain Infinite Life, and on that turn I was able to break up the combo so he couldn't do infinite damage. And then proceeded to play a Chandra, play a Scavenging Ooze. I think I ended the game with Chandra at like 18 or 20 or something. can't alt it because I don't want to exile 10 cards. And can't even use the 0 because I don't want to draw any cards. So eventually I just killed all of his boards, ate his entire graveyard, and told him that I would win the game in 25 turns.
Yeah. I mean,
And it was great.
and he did concede to that.
Yeah.
But okay, so basically, it looks like an Ancient Stirrings did resolve here after using the star, and gonna pick a tower. I think that might be the third Tron piece.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
But man, Ancient Stirrings, what a card.
That card is super good, folks. This card, some people say that this card should be banned because it's so good. I'm not entirely convinced of that. Oh, he needs to be at 17.
But going 5 deep, man.
5 deep is a lot. I've heard this card called Mega Ponder. I call it Mega Ponder, actually, so that's why I've heard it. This card is excellent. Just like you get lands, you get your threats, he has an O-Stone now. Like, I don't know, man. Seems great.
Yeah.
So,
this is an excellent position to be in.
yeah. So Bray, I'm gonna untap here 3 lands. So the problem here is if there's natural Tron into a threat, Cryptic is not online. Ooh, Tech Edge. Probably not good enough. Here comes a Tassiger. Okay, so the Tassiger's the pressure. There is an Oblivion Stone in hand for Bob, but critically, oh my.
And
Oh,
So-
drag Tusk.
Yeah, so
drag Tusk.
so what you see a lot of the times is the Tron post board.
No.
They board into a lot more fair threats.
Like this Thrag Tusk, for
yeah.
instance, kids.
So in case like something funny happens to a Tron, in case they get crumbled or whatnot, they can still play a fair game.
He drew a Karn too.
Yeah.
Turn 3, 4, 5. Not good enough. Oh, goodbye.
I
What a player.
mean, drawing Karn is fine too. Like this is fine.
Oh my god. How do you win? Hero's Downfall, please. Tech Edge, not going to be good enough here because there's not 4 lands in play.
Yep. And unfortunately, a lot of times when your opponent plays a Tron and goes down to exile something, you could maybe bolt it.
There's
But
no bolt.
There's no bolt.
This deck just doesn't have the bolts. And yeah, I mean, Bob obviously playing very quickly because he knows.
The beats are just gonna keep coming.
And the beats start coming. Oh, don't discard your dismember. You need that to kill the Thrag Tusk.
Ooh, this
Oh, just passing. Just gonna leave up the map. Next turn, play like a billion things. I don't know.
there's no reason to play anything into Cryptic Command. There's just no reason.
Snapcaster, empty. Gotta hit that Karn, guys.
Snapcaster's
my
an ambush
God.
viper.
This is so sad.
Alright,
And there's a
just gonna
scoop.
scoop it.
Graham says it's over. See if we can get another match out there. All right, guys. We just watched Tron do to a very slow deck what Tron always does to very slow decks, which is stomp them into the dirt. Yeah. No, I mean, I respect the hell out of Tron. It is, the deck is so good. And especially against a slow deck like this. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh man, what's that card with the eyeball on it, guys? It destroys a base and destroys a non-basic, and it's black. It's like Tear something. Chat, please. Tears, Bottle of Tears. Guys, yeah, okay. It's got a eye on the front, crying into a bottle. Don't make sure okay. Bottle of Tears, magic art. What is the Bottle of Tears, everybody? It destroys non-basic lands in black. I swear. What does this card do? I actually have no idea what card it is, but that was also brought in as a possibility. I'm in need of assistance. All right, I'm gonna go to Gatherer, guys. Okay, it's black. Sorcery, so... Sorcery, black, CMC3, Rain of Tears. Woo! All right, great image in El Rafael with the speedy Rain of Tears. So this is some land disruption for the blue black deck. Obviously, so like there's no Fulminator, so Rain of Tears comes in, just destroy target land, so it's just like black Stone Rain, but the black mana cost is a little bit more intensive. This can often set Tron back a turn or two. Most of the time they have so much redundancy that they can just go get the rest of their stuff, though. So we're looking at the deck here, seeing what's in it, what's not in it. Looks like there's a Victim of Night running around. Oh, yeah. Victim of Night. This is one of those weird black cards that's just conditional enough that it's like, maybe you don't want to play this. Like non-werewolf, for example, or like non-vampire or non-zombie, like Gurmag Angler, Olivia Voldaren, and and Huntmaster get missed by this. So Dan has come back to me with some sad news, and that is that there's not another match for us.
Yeah.
So
it looks like everyone in this round, the parents happen to be so that like everyone is in game 3 or done already.
Okay.
So we might be finishing this round actually quite quickly.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to a short break so Dan and I can grab some water. When we come back, if the round hasn't started, we're going to take like I'm going to call it right now, we're going to take a 7-minute break. When we come back, if the round hasn't started, we'll talk about WotC's big announcement today. If it starts earlier than that, though, we'll be right here. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with more Modern at MTG Card Market.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Fourth round should be almost underway here at MTG Card Market on this October Wednesday evening. But before that round starts, there's always things to talk about. Specifically today, which is fortunate for the fact that we need something to talk about on the stream. There's a new standard rotation, or rather, maybe it's the old standard rotation.
Yeah, it's kind of a reversion back to the old standard rotation.
So, do you want to summarize sort of what it means for people?
Yeah, effectively, we're going back to the once a year rotation.
Okay.
So previously, blocks had 3 sets in it. So for Khans of Tarkir, there was Khans.
There was Favor Forged.
Yeah, Khans of Tarkir, Favor Forged, and Dragons.
Right.
And then to bookend all of it, there's a core set. So it goes 3 set block, core set, 3 set block, core set.
Right.
So now we've gone to the new world where there's no more core sets, and we just have 2 set blocks. So we have 2 set blocks a year. And previously the idea was we would rotate every 18 months. So there would only ever be 3 blocks in a given standard. People didn't like that, so we're now expanding standard out to once a year, which means that we now have super standard again. So there will be periods of time where there are 8 sets in standard.
So,
which is a lot.
So the next time that there will be 8 sets in standard, it'll be battle.
No,
Oath.
next time is special. Next time we have 9 sets, because the BFZ block was a triple set. Oh no! Excuse me. I'm thinking dragons. No, it's still an 8-set block.
It's going to be BFZ, Oath, Shadows, Moon, Kaladesh, Aether Revolt, Amonkhet, and
the second set.
Day of Destruction, I think, is what it's called.
Right.
Yeah, that's in 8-set standard. There's going to be the card pool is going to be super deep. Also, the cards in Battle for Zendikar stay for even longer than people anticipated.
The BFZ cards stay for a little bit longer than what was anticipated. The standard is no bigger than what it used to be.
Right.
So people who are used to older standards will be familiar with it.
Right.
But it does mean, there are like cataclysmic shifts when
rotation
rotate.
Because the standard will get super small then, right?
So standard shrinks to 5 blocks. So it'll be 4 blocks plus the new one.
Yeah.
So it's a big shift.
It also means that like Gideon Ally Zendikar is still going to be like the best white 4-drop.
Well, the fear is like the meta can get kind of stale.
True.
If powerful cards are going to print it. So like when cards like Collected Company, that
can you imagine another 6 months of rally?
Collected Company could have been around for additional 6 months, and it would just been more rally, more
Mardu Green,
or the LSV deck with Cryptolith rights,
4-color rights,
decks like that. Siege Rhino could have been around for another 6 months. So what's good is going to still be good. It'll be interesting because instead of being 3 set blocks, having them in 2 and 2 means that each block itself has to be playable.
Yeah.
For the limited format, right? So we could end up with a higher power level in general.
Yeah.
We also might end up with sets that don't interact nicely with each other.
Sure.
So the energy from this set there won't be energy in any other set, presumably, or any other block.
Yeah.
So it makes it awkward, right? If you're deck building and you want to use
energy, you're not going to use cards from the new set. Yeah.
You have to either go all in on it, or you're excluding a lot of cards.
Yeah, and I mean that'll be interesting. Hopefully Wizards has sort of set up this upcoming. Like I trust design somewhat to like set it up in a way that like there will be some synergy between blocks. But I could definitely see something as salient as energy sort of getting left out in the cold, because you can't. Mike Rosewater wrote, like, you can't just do a little bit of energy in a block. Like, that's horrible. Like, It doesn't make sense. So, energy stuff, going to be challenging. But yeah.
And there's also the concern that the Egyptian set was not designed with BFZ in mind.
Right.
So, depending on how far along in the design process they are, there may be some things that, might not play nicely with that. And it sounds like we had round 4 paired outside.
Yeah.
So
you want to go find a match?
Yeah, we're going to go see.
Okay. I will kick it down to the play area. All right, so, actually, hey Dan. All right, so we're gonna have to move this table around just a little bit, guys, but we will, of course, do that with all reasonable speed. As soon as Dan comes back. So pause this, and then I will do some overlay tinkering. Yeah, so that looks like somebody bumped our table. Somebody bumped the table, so I'm gonna go move it back to where it should be. It's pretty tilted. All right, so Dan has assured me that we will be able to see the action here. What are we watching, Dan?
We are watching Simon and Ken. This is a rematch from last week.
Okay, so who's on the left?
The left is Simon.
Okay.
And Ken Ropiak is on the right here.
All right, so left player, we've got Simon Kamarau. What's he playing?
Green Black Elves.
Oh, he's still elves again. Okay, so, yep, Simon on.
So for the first time ever, we're only going to have 4 matches on camera, but we're going to have 8 different decks.
Yeah, no overlaps tonight.
No overlaps tonight.
Yeah. Red Green Valakut and Ken Ropiak.
Yeah, Ken recently winning GPT this weekend with Red Green Valakut.
So he's got his buys for Dallas then.
He's got his buys for Dallas, yes.
All right, so both players, I did not see who won the roll, but both players are going to look at 7. This matchup can be a little comical sometimes if like Ken has multiple Anger of the Gods and stuff. Right now, looking at a couple lands, a couple bolts, and some ramp. This seems fine. He has a Summoner's Pact as well, and what looks like a Courser of Crewfix. So he's going to start off on a tapped Stomping Ground.
Yeah, it doesn't have this 3rd land for the Courser, but it does have double bolt, which is really all you can hope for in this deck.
Yeah.
So now he's got the dilemma of, does he want to play the...
I much prefer playing the Stomping Ground untapped so he can shoot the bolt off.
Right. So, but does he play the Colony Heart, or does he bolt? Or does he leave it up?
I like the Colony Heart.
Yeah.
You just got to do your scape shift stuff.
Alright, so Simon's got a turn to go ham here.
Yeah. He's going to name Elves. That Cavern, probably not going to need to make anything uncounterable. And this is a much better bolt target.
Oh, this is what you want to be bolting. But unfortunately, Ken doesn't have a 3rd land. So he's either got to cast his Explorer and like hope to hit land, or he can cast the Farseek.
I'm not sure he's interested in leaving it up to chance.
Yep, so he might just pass the turn here. Yep. Simon's got to be thrilled to see that.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a land-based combo deck with no lands, guys. That's pretty good.
That's the dream, right? So,
Simon with a Visionary here.
Visionary here, just gonna cycle.
And he's gonna get in the red zone for 1 using that elf. And play another elf off his land drop.
Yep.
Board developing nicely here for Simon. Ken, draw, land. Does find a land.
It does find a land.
Trigger Calling Heart.
Alright, so now he's got he has Courser he can play, which should help smooth out his land drops. And indeed, we're going to see a Windswept Heath on top.
Yeah, it also prevents some of the aggression.
Alright, so Windswept Heath on top kind of ensures that Colony Heart is going to be crackable next turn.
Absolutely. Simon here, though, looks like he's got, a lot of mana, but not a lot of action.
Yeah, Simon incredibly flooded here.
Sakura Tribe Elder on top for Ken. So, play that. So Ken can go end of turn, crack the Foothills. Okay, so he's going to Farseek here. This is interesting because it lets him get another look at the top of his deck, and if it's a land, he can play that card.
No, he played a Windswept already this turn.
No. Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Which is perhaps a little bit of a minor misstep. If he sees another Windswept on top of his deck, probably won't be thrilled to see that.
Yeah, you're right. But here, Ken does have the Calling Heart. He is going to also search at the same time. So he's going to go to 15, I guess?
Yeah. And this is going to give him access to Primeval Titan next turn.
Yeah, he can Summoner's Pact, crack the Calling Heart. So end of turn, he'll crack the Calling Heart on his upkeep or whatever. He can Summoner's Pact. Unless he reveals a Titan on top or something, which would be the dream. Oh, so... Oh, wow.
Maybe we're not on the Summoner's Pack plan.
Yeah, I mean, there's a... Wow, okay.
Alright.
So, with an Anger the Gods, Simon cannot be happy to see that on top.
No. If Simon cannot
Kill him right now?
draw out of this, he knows not to play more into it.
Yeah.
But if I'm Ken, like, Anger of the Gods is best card by far here.
Yeah, you crack the Calling Heart, I think, and then you just anger this guy. Although, Simon can get in, like, a pretty big drain here if he has a Shaman of the Pack, but he doesn't have the... Oh, wait, no, he's got a Collected Company in a turn.
So if he finds an Azuri here, that Anger is going to be pretty bad. Yeah.
Pretty bad. He's got a Elvish Archdruid and a Dwynen's Elite.
Okay, so we've got...
that Elvish Archdruid taps for actual billion mana, dude. Look at
that taps for 7?
Jesus.
Or something like that.
Alright, play the Azuri, Simon. Play the Azuri you've always been meant to play.
Yeah. So, if Simon finds an...
Guildleaf Palace, reveal, Shaman.
Okay.
Okay, so he's going to play the Shaman and drain for 8. Ken's going to go to 7.
I think he's going to respond to the Shaman trigger with a Coco.
Oh. Okay, so if he finds another Shaman, Ken dies.
Yes. We got
Coco,
Elvish
Visionary. No, he misses. He'll draw 2. Oh,
Alright.
if he finds another Shaman... Okay, so...
but he's got a lot of mana floating, too, here.
No, he's got a billion mana floating. Draw 2.
There's another
Coco.
Is that another Coco?
Yes. It is. It's another Collected Company.
So we've passed the point where...
So Ken is going to go to 6 from the Shaman trigger.
No, because it's still on the stack.
Oh my god.
Still on the stack. So Azuri
2, 3,
is no longer
4,
good. I don't think he has
5,
enough mana.
6. I don't know if he hit it. He's got a Heritage Druid and a Nettle Sentinel.
Alright.
Oh my god. Alright. Simon. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, and then lethal. Just turn your creature sideways.
Yes?
Oh,
he has the
Azuri in
Azuri.
hand.
Oh my
Alright.
god. Okay. Make mana. Ooh! Ooh! Anger the Gods. 1 turn too late here for Ken Ropiak. Gonna get demolished by Green-Black Elves. Simon Cameron.
What a disgusting turn.
Elvish Archdruid for so much.
What a disgusting turn.
Absolutely, Dan. Absolutely.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. Absolutely filthy. I feel sordid.
That was an Elvish Archer tapping for 9, finding Collected Company, hitting 2 Visionaries, drawing an Azuri and another Coco, Cocoing, finding Nano Sentinel and Heritage Druid,
and then playing an Azuri.
Playing Azuri, draining for like 12 or something like that, has lethal in just turning his Llanowar Elf sideways.
But can pump instead.
But can pump also on top. Disgusting.
I have no words.
I mean,
I think I'm traumatized now. What the hell, man?
These are things that just can happen.
If you don't play enough interaction, you lose to elves in this very manner.
But I mean, Ken had a bolt too. He had the bolt for the first, archers, which is more than like he even asked for a lot of the time.
Yeah, double bolt in his opener, dog.
Yeah, this deck only runs 4 bolts and like 2 angers, maybe.
Yeah, 2 angers main.
And of those 6 cards, he drew 3 of them. Which is very good.
No, Ken was some very good interactive draws. There's just a turn too late on the anger.
Yeah, I think.
Simon just YOLOing for it there.
Yeah. Ken just 1 turn off. 1 turn off from the anger, 1 turn off from the primeval. Just, a tad too slow.
I mean, missing the land drop there.
Missing, yeah.
Missing the 3rd land drop, I think, was critical.
Yeah. Yeah, he, the turn 2, Archer meant that he couldn't cast a Farseeker or Explore and possibly try to draw out of it.
Certainly. My god. That was just destruction.
Yeah, it was pretty dirty. I mean, Ken did have the play of playing turn 1 Stomping Ground untapped.
To bolt.
To bolt like anything that gets played, so that turn 2 he could play the Colony Heart. And then Simon presumably couldn't have a busted turn 2.
Yeah, I mean, I like that play a lot. Looking at Ken's hand here, he's got a... Sudden Shock?
Yeah, Sudden Shock.
Sudden Shock, some lands, a Primeval Titan, and a Colony Heart. And a Search. Oh, you keep this
But
almost certainly.
does he have enough land? It's not a one-lander.
No, there's multiple lands. There's like 3 on the left.
Oh, okay. Is there a green source?
There's a Foothills.
Oh, okay. Well, then this seems like
This seems great.
the perfect hand.
Yeah. So Ken here, waiting for Simon. Simon looks like he mauled, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if he hadn't drawn his initial, but yeah, I guess Simon's gonna maul. Ken's gonna take another look there. Yeah, seems like a good hand for Ken. Obviously Primeval Titan, this card pretty strong. Gets 2 Valak hits when it enters the battlefield,
Yeah,
and then when it attacks, it does all the damage.
If Primeval Titan attacks, the game is over.
Ken choosing to play Cinderglade tapped here on turn 1.
Instead of playing the Search. He may not have an option.
I don't know. I thought he had a Wooded.
Uh,
Okay, so Elvish Mystic going to be the play here. Valakut, Ken going to... Oh, he's going to play... Oh, he's getting kind of greedy here.
This is fine.
Yeah.
His draw is going to be pretty explosive here.
He does need to find some... He needs to figure out what the good targets for removal are, and I think that's like specifically Archdruid.
Right.
Simon...
It's Archdruid, Azuri, and in certain cases, Heritage Druid.
Yes, Heritage Druid enabling some very silly magic. Simon just getting the green source here. Has some extra mana to work with.
So if Ken next turn plays a land, triggers Colony Heart, hard cast
Search. Yes.
gets the second counter. Oh, if Ken plays a fetch.
Yeah, he has a fetch though.
Okay, so if he plays a fetch, hard cast Search,
Yeah.
and cracks Colony Heart, then on turn 4 he can play Primeval Titan.
Yes. Simon here gonna get in for 1.
Right.
Ken with a Steve. He's gonna play a Valakut, I think, tapped. Yep, that looks like the play.
All right.
Steve out, and a pass.
Yep. So this will
I
mean
kind of
that
like the Turbo Colony plan better.
I
thought he had a fetch land.
he must not have a fetch.
Yeah. Okay. So in a Zuri draw here for Simon, that's obviously like your public enemy number 1.
Yeah, Azuri is very good, but doesn't look like Simon has any busted mana
Yeah, it's true.
generators. So the Azuri is going to be pretty fair.
Yeah. I mean, fair Zuri, still pretty good.
Yeah, it's still fine.
It's gonna force Ken to it'll force Ken to take some time off to zap it. But that yeah, I kind of like playing
so it doesn't look
I
like
playing the fetch land over the Valakut.
it doesn't look like Ken has a fetch. I think his last card is another mountain,
Oh, I thought it was. It looks like a Wooded Foothills to me. My bad.
which makes this line of play
Yeah.
make a lot more sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So Simon, thinking about what he wants to, you can either play Heritage Druid, and then make mana and play Azuri, which runs him into more problems with something like which runs him into problems with something like Anger the Gods, because you expose yourself more, but it also like lets you develop your board further.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the sequencing Simon is thinking about is what can he
Yeah.
beat and what can't he beat.
Yeah.
It's frozen.
It's frozen. Look, they're not moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like our string may have frozen.
All right,
here
we're
temporarily.
gonna toss it up to the booth, and then we're gonna toss it back down to the play area and see if that fixes anything. All right, yeah, okay, cool. Things got fixed.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
a lot has happened.
Simon played Dwynen's Elite
Played Heritage Druid
Druid
into Dwynen's
Elite,
and,
tapped 3.
and played Azuri.
Yes. Meanwhile,
Crush-
there was a block sack from, or no, there wasn't. Yeah, so no damage taken there. So
Crucially,
Ken really needs
no mana
to,
for Azuri right now.
Okay, so Ken can actually sacrifice the Colony Heart here and get triggers.
Yes.
And is Simon tapped? Simon does not have a way to make mana right now. Okay, so Ken gonna hard cast a Search for tomorrow.
This is going to be the 5th mountain in play.
And then when Ken cracks the Colony Heart, he'll get 2 triggers. He can kill the Azuri.
And he can kill the Heritage Druid.
Yeah.
And then next turn when he plays Primeval,
Okay, he's just going to sudden shock this Azuri.
sure.
So now Ken has 2 instant speed bolts to kill everything on the board. This is where Simon needs to do something busted. Like, I mean, he could play the Shaman of the Pack that he has in his hand, for example. That is a large attack.
I mean, not
1,
incredibly
2,
large.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep. So Ken,
play
so if nothing else gets played here, Ken can just play a Primeval Titan.
All right, so Ken's gonna go to 5 if he doesn't have responses.
But this is fine because Ken is going to play a Primeval Titan, get 2 more Valakuts, crack the Colony Heart, and get 6 triggers,
And kill his whole board.
and pretty much kill the whole board.
All right, I feel like you'd have to just do this.
Yeah, and Simon is Hellbent here.
Yeah.
So you kill
This
the.
might not be enough. Yeah. Boom.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is going to be really rough for.
For Simon.
Yeah.
Because so Ken's gonna get 1,000,000 triggers.
This is going to leave an elf token. Ken is 1 short from just killing Simon outright.
Okay, so 2 triggers.
Oh, he's choosing to.
2 triggers.
Oh, are there 2 Valakuts already in play?
Yeah, he
Oh,
played
okay.
a second one, and those are gonna go upstairs.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's 24 damage, right?
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought he only had 1 Valakut in play.
Yeah. So Ken Ropiak gonna do it there. So yeah, 2 Valakuts, Primeval Titan for 12 damage, Crack Colony Heart for 12 more damage.
Easy life.
Wow.
Easy game, easy life.
Easy game, easy life.
Right.
Ken Ropiak gonna tie it up at 1. Simon just a turn slow.
Yeah.
Very close.
Ken also had the option of getting the 2 other Valakuts.
Yes.
And then cracking Colony Heart, so each one did 4 triggers.
Ooh.
Same amount of damage. But,
Same amount of damage, but slightly more BM, and we all know that you just love that, Dan. Why win when you can win with style, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're gonna go back to 20 life on each of these. So
Either way, played very well from Ken, knowing that he didn't have to crack the.
yeah, I
Colony
mean,
Heart.
again, I clearly don't know how to play this deck because I was like, oh, you should crack it here, you should crack it here, you should crack it here. No, don't do that. Bad Matthew. Crack it, not there.
Yeah, Ken saw that wasn't under enough pressure where he felt like he needed to crack it, and then playing Primeval Titan just gave him lethal.
Absolutely. Yeah, for certain. Jeez.
So
What a game.
just like last time, we're gonna get into game 3 after 2 not particularly close games.
Yeah, I mean,
One going each way.
one each way. You know, this is not the Tron match that we saw where Tron just stomped on that control deck, but this is, both of these decks can do busted things, right?
Right. Yeah. Game 1, Simon just had a disgusting sequence of draws where it was just like didn't look remotely close.
Yeah. Ooh, actually, question: if you get in that situation with Primeval Titan, if you get a 3rd Valakut and a Mountain, right? Then you get 9 damage, right?
Yeah.
And then you crack the Colony Heart and you get not 18 damage.
Yeah. So you can do 27 that way.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure that math actually worked out. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so, but I mean, obviously, like, Ken didn't need 27. He only did 24.
Yes.
He didn't need to do more than 20. Oh, man. Scape Shift.
What a deck.
What a deck. Primeval Titan, what a card. 2 lands, what a disgusting thing. Bolt, Mountains, Farsi, Bolt, Steve. I don't know.
Search for Tomorrow, 4 land.
That's a hard keep.
So this is a very slow hand from Ken. He has no win con right now.
Yeah, but I feel like he might want to just... Yeah, he's going to snap it off.
Yeah.
He's got another Steve, but yeah, it's slow. I agree with you, Dan. Windswept, crack, 19. Suspend the search for tomorrow. And there's going to be a serve, going to take him down to 18.
Oh, looks like Simon kept a 1-lander here.
Uh-oh. Simon on 1-landers. We've seen this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ken untap draw here. What's he got?
Oh, drew a Primeval Titan. So that's certainly excellent.
I'm surprised. I would bolt here. I would almost certainly bolt there, right? Like, maybe you don't care, but maybe you do.
So the thing is, he can play a 3-drop here.
Yeah, but then you just kill the 3-drop.
You just kill the 3-drop.
True, good point. All right, and okay, so Ken gonna do a little shortcutting here. He's gonna fetch with the Steve and with the Sakura Tribe Elder, at the same time, which I like. Yeah, so he's going to untap. Now he's going to cast Search. I don't know if he has another green source, but he should probably get a second green source so he can play the stupid big creature in his hand.
Yeah.
It's a good card. I think he has a second green source if he's getting the third mountain. So now Ken can, like, bolt, play another Steve.
Yep. Which sets him up for the...
Primeval Titan.
Yep, Primeval Titan next turn.
Yeah. He has a Stomping Ground, I think. So.
Again, the turn 4 Primeval.
Damn. If only we were also blessed.
So it looks like, I think he
Steve.
drew another Search for tomorrow?
Land tapped. Bolts. Get that Arshroot off my table, he says.
Okay.
So Simon needs to do something real quick about this. Notably, Simon cannot cast the Selfless Spirit that he has in hand.
That is correct. Azuri, very good.
Yeah, Azuri seems great here. So Ken can get Land Valakut and just kill this Azuri with the Primeval. Yes? Yes.
So
there's
1,
4
2, 3,
mountains.
4. Yeah, if he plays...
Oh, no, he can't. He can play a land.
He'll play
Okay,
land,
yeah, so no, he can get Land Valakut and kill the Azuri.
Mm-hmm. And then,
he can also crack the Steve.
So the better place to get 2 Valakuts and then crack the Steve, so you
you're
get
right,
2
you're right.
triggers off of this.
Yep.
You want to get just as many Valakuts in play as fast as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Ken with 2 Valakuts, bam. Bam goes the Steve, in comes the mountain, pew,
So,
shot. Pew. All right, laser noises aside,
Yeah.
Ken really effectively dealing with Simon's board.
and Simon couldn't regenerate that because played the Llanowar off that turn.
Yes, and had Summoning Sickness. Yeah, so this is not ideal.
So
for
this
Simon.
is Simon in rough shape.
He's gonna pass it back.
Yeah.
He probably has Collected Company, if I had to imagine.
But,
But
I
he
mean-
might just be dead.
Yeah, like with this attack on a stack.
Trigger. Oh God.
So there's gonna be one
Have-
Valakut.
Have mercy.
So all 4 Valakuts now in play.
all 4 Valakuts also online.
Yep.
Simon gonna attempt to do some damage here, and there's gonna be a Coco in response. Or sorry, Ken attempting to do some damage. Simon gonna Coco. You go, Glenn Coco. What do we got? Oh, I don't know if that's good enough. Visionary Heritage Druid.
Yep. So
14.
notably, Primeval Titan has Trample. So he's still,
Even if he blocks, he's taking damage.
at least taking 4.
He's taking 5.
5. Okay, so then play this land, and which is going to deal 12. Oh, he's got Summoner's Pact for another Primeval Titan.
Jesus.
That works too.
Whew, and yep, Ken Ropiak gonna win it. I'm just gonna put Simon at 0 here. Gonna take it down 2-1 with Red Green Valakut over Elves. Dan, get us another match. Go fast.
Let's go see if we can find another match here.
Go, Dan Rangers. Yeah, so Dan is gonna hop out of the booth momentarily, get us another match. Yeah, Scape Shift, guys. Red Green Valakut. It's real good. It has problems with some of the very fast aggro decks, but against this stuff that's not like Affinity or Infect, you just get to blow people up with lands that they can't interact with. And you play Summoner's Packs. You tutor for stuff, too. Yeah, lots of tutoring in the deck. Very, very strong right now. Again, the things that are holding it back are like the really busted aggro matchups. So, and I'm not sure how the deck fixes that. I'm not sure if it wants to. Maybe it just like exists. But it's obviously putting up like no one is playing Rug Scape Shift anymore, right? No one is trying to cast Cryptic Command or Remand or anything. They're just like, nope, cool. Don't care what you're doing. Play my Primeval Titan. Some of them you can play Through the Breach. I know Ken plays Scape Shift instead of Through the Breach, but you play this beautiful card over here. Through the Breach. Yeah. So you can put a Primeval Titan into play with this, and then you can attack them. Get a lot of lands that way. It cheats your Primeval Titans out. It's instant speed, so if you do it in their end step, you don't actually sacrifice a creature until the next one, so you can use it to pressure decks at the end of turn.
We got a match.
We got a match! All right. Excellent. Dan, who's playing?
We have Alex Perez
Okay.
on presumably Banto Drowsy.
When is he ever on anything else?
And we have Vincent
On Jund?
and John.
All right. We are going to go full circle, ladies and gentlemen. Vincent Adinolfi, who we saw earlier today. On Jund, going to play Alex Perez. Are they game 3?
This is game 3. This is for all the marbles.
All the marbles, including Vince's pride as he attempts to go 3-1 at his first Wednesday night thing with Jund. So yeah, Vincent's pride marbles are on the table, guys.
Possibly 3. I'm not sure if he's 1-2 or 2-1.
He's 2-1.
Oh, is it?
I talked to him between rounds, yeah.
Excellent.
Alright, player. Alright. So guys, Vince won once on camera. Do we think he's going to win a second time, knowing what his opponent is on? Dan, you're the expert Jund player here. How do you feel about this?
The matchup is not great. Let's put it that way. It's
Okay.
not great. It's not unwinnable, like it is against, if you sit against Tron, it sometimes feels unwinnable.
Sure.
This, at least, like, you have interaction, and if you can stabilize late, you can get there.
But their late game of Drowner Displacer seems really good.
Right, you have more removal for Displacer than almost any other deck in the format, though.
Sure. That's true, that's true. But you have enough removal for their Spell Sky. Alright. Yeah, so we'll see. Obviously, stuff like Reality Smasher, sometimes difficult for the deck to deal with because it's a, auto 2-for-1. And Eldrazi. All right, so Vincent looking like he's gonna keep 7.
Yeah, definitely at least a Rage Ravine in there.
I did see that. I also I think I saw Wooded Foothills.
Alright, looks like there's quite a few land in there.
Vince, this is not your control decks.
Looks like there's at least 4.
All right. Well, if he's got 4 lands, 3 good cards, we'll let him do it. One of the things with Bant Eldrazi is they don't want to run a lot of removal. They basically just have 4 paths. So, stuff like Bob can go uncontested for a long time.
Yeah, possibly some number of dismembers as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. All right.
Alright, looks like Alex is
Alex
on
gonna keep
6
Scry.
already.
Yeah. Keep Scry. Who's going first? Alex is going first.
Alright, that is a Misty.
Fetch land. Only shiny decks for Alex, guys.
Alright, Misty into Ancient Stirrings.
You think this is a breeding pool, or is it a temple? Oh, that's just a forest.
This is just
okay.
a forest, yeah.
19. Put him on it. Casting probably the most powerful cantrip in the format right now.
Yes, yeah, does a lot of work. It was originally good in Tron, but also does double duty in Eldrazi.
Yeah, I talked about it earlier, and you know what? Still good here. Looking for your top 5 and getting an Eldrazi temple, which will ramp you really hard, is very good. Finding things like Reality Smashers in the late game is also very strong. We'll see what he does. He's going to find just a forest off of that. So either his hand is nuts or that Ancient Stirrings was awful. Vincent has a Kalitas in hand, too. He's going to start with a tapped Raging Ravine.
Okay. Kalitas not the greatest in this deck.
Right.
Oh,
Ooh,
so,
wow. Okay, so this is a super slow start for Alex.
Yeah, so it looks like that may have been atrocious.
Yeah.
The Ancient Stirrings
The Ancient Stirrings might have been garbage. Just like multiple paths in Noble Hierarchy. So Vincent, going to go to 19 for that swamp. And he's going to run out of Bob. Bob's quite good.
Right, so there's a possibility Alex was desperately looking for land. It might have kept like a 1-lander, and that was the only land available.
That's so hard, though.
Yeah, so this Ancient Stirrings finds a tempo. So this is what he wants to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It gives him access to 3 here.
Yeah, the Ancient Stirrings did just ramp him, guys. It's pretty good. Matter Reshaper going to come down.
Fine card.
Very strong.
This is where Kalitas will be very good.
Yes. Bolt.
Bolt.
So, Vince draws a card here. Yep. Not missing his Bob triggers. Good job, Vince.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what does Vince have going on here. Might have another Bob. Run out the second Bob. Oh wait, he's at 18 because of the Bolt flip. 18. Another Bob.
All right.
Vince is playing some risky games here.
If the first Bob is good, why shouldn't the second one be?
The second Bob's great.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus. The third Ancient Stirrings. All right.
15 cards.
Yeah. So Alex says between his draw and his original hand, he's almost seeing half his deck.
Yep.
Finds the second temple.
He can play Smasher. I would not be surprised to see a Smasher. Oh, it's a Smasher.
This is 5 minutes. That's a Smasher.
Gah. Serve. I would be attacking with both.
I think I would attack with both as well. Although Vincent probably be happy trading
Bob.
Yeah. So here Vincent can get 3 for 1 if he blocks with Bob and bolts as well.
I don't
It discards a card.
I don't think that's good.
It doesn't feel great, of
He's
course.
He's going to take 6 here. He's going to go to 12.
Mm-hmm.
So Vince obviously needing to find some removal out of this, giant Eldrazi-shaped hole.
Yeah. So if Vincent can find, for example, a Slaughter Pact.
Right. Slaughter Pact here is nuts because you kill their Smasher. You do have to discard a card, but you kill their Smasher.
No, you don't have to discard a card. You bolt the Matter Reshaper. Oh, excuse me.
You kill the Smasher. Dog.
Excuse me. I thought I said Liliana.
Nope.
Yeah, Liliana would be insane here.
0 to Bob, 1 to Bob.
Okay.
Damn, Vince living dangerously.
Yeah, but Vincent is looking at potentially a lot of damage on the other side here.
Yeah, agreed. So he's got a land he can play. Like obviously we saw the swamp. But the question is, what is he gonna do? He's up on cards by a lot. So if he has a way to kill the Smasher, it's not the worst because a little bit of disadvantage here doesn't matter.
Right. The Battery Shaper is a little unpleasant, so Vincent might be tempted to be greedy and just play the Kalitas. If he can play the Kalitas, he has stabilized the game.
Yeah, that's not unreasonable. I think you're somewhat in his head right now because he's gonna do it.
Yeah, if he plays the Kalitas and can survive this turn, meaning that there is not another Matter Reshaper, he can. There's not a Reality Smasher. He can stabilize this game.
Yeah. Well, even if there's another Smasher, he goes to 1, but then he dies to Bob. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Alex is gonna go to 15. So yeah, Vince needs to dodge out. But the thing is Alex kept such a spooky looking hand. Thought not. Thought not
is pretty atrocious here.
Atrocious bad or atrocious good?
Atrocious bad.
Yeah.
I mean, Vincent had just so many cards in hand
That's true. Thoughtseize, Bolt, Goy, Finks, Scoos.
Oh.
There's no removal.
There's no removal here. So here,
take the Bolt.
You almost have to take the Bolt.
Yeah, you definitely take the Bolt here.
Right.
The thing is that Goyf is only like a 2/3.
Yeah.
Land sorcery, dog.
There's land sorcery. Gorf is not a good. So Vincent does have to play next turn though of double blocking with Kalidas
And a Bob.
and a Bob, taking 0 from Reality Smasher and also getting a zombie.
The Thoughtseize though is gonna die.
Okay, so the Thoughtseize suggests
Alex obviously protecting something in his hand.
Right.
Vince with the ability to play basically everything in his hand next turn.
Mm-hmm.
So you can bolt the Reshaper, right? And then okay, so there's a Surf. He's gonna go to 6. So Vince could die to his Bob flips.
Vince could, yes.
All right, believe in yourself, Vince.
This
guy has great Bob luck though. We saw that last game.
There's actually quite a few sequences here where he dies.
3.
3. All right, we're almost there.
Does he do it? Oh no! Vincent Adenolfi gonna flip double Bob. Hey, wait. We got life totals, right? He's dead, isn't he?
Yeah, he's dead.
Wait. He's gonna do it! Oh, Vincent! The Bob luck runs out at the exact wrong time. Any card! Oh my god, he had Kalitas to gain life too!
Yep.
Oh my
Yeah.
Lanta.
So this is part of the reason why I didn't like the.
There's an all his dust on top for Alex.
So importantly here, this is why attacking with Bobs aggressively is not good.
Because you want to block
Because
that situation.
here if you attack with 1, it's fine, but I would have thrown 1 away.
Sure.
Because you have drawn enough cards, you're far enough ahead that all you have to do is not die from Bobs. But
no.
But attacking with the Bobs means that you can't trade them away.
Yeah, live by the Bob, die by the Bob.
Yeah. I think this is
This is an object lesson in.
This is a good way to kind of end the night going full circle.
Vincent, who started with unreasonable Bob luck in our first round,
Finally.
falls on his own sword to the Bobs in the last round.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to kick it back up to the booth. All right, so that was some pretty entertaining Magic. We saw 10 decks on camera tonight, and 9 of them were different.
Yes.
The format is, you can bring anything to a Wednesday thing, guys, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like we had some, crazy brews. These are all, legitimate decks.
These are all pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
I think, it's
all of them played good cards. All of them did powerful things. But I guess that just kind of speaks to the format. Seeing what happens out of Milwaukee this weekend... seeing what happens out in Milwaukee this weekend is going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, that'll definitely set us up for, going forward.
Right. I think there was a Panharmonicon, but I don't think it was part of the deck. I think it might have just been on the table or something.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, the next draw was gonna be All Is Dust.
Yeah,
Which is
All His
actually-
Dust is game winning right there.
No,
because-
one short. He had 6 mana available
Oh.
and 2
Well.
drowners in hand. He has like the 3
Yeah,
cards
he
in his
just-
deck that are
he
uncastable.
can't cast, but like he draws 1 card and your opponent loses a game because
Yes.
colored permanence includes all your creatures for Vince.
Yeah. But
Oh.
yeah. So
Yeah, well, that was some excellent Modern. I really enjoyed it.
it was a lot of good fun. But with that, I think we're gonna be wrapping up
Yeah.
this evening. So MTG Card Market will be at GP Providence this weekend. If you are going to go play the Standard, come stop by, say hi at the booth. I'll be there this weekend.
Yeah.
It should be a great time. We're gonna see what kind of pans out in Standard and Modern this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, if you're local, just a reminder, you see it on the side of the stream now. There's a standard 1K PPTQ November 12th here. 1K prize support for a PPTQ is something that in this area that I really only know about, in like the close Chicago area, I really only know about Card Market doing. They're very, like, that's an absurd amount of support for a PPTQ.
Yeah, even like even if you look at the larger region as a whole, there to have cash support for PPTQs is quite rare.
Yeah.
And it's a nice prize on top of potentially qualifying for the RPTQ.
Right, yeah, I mean, if you quali, like,
uh,
now you can go win the Pro Tour, right?
yeah, exactly, and some a weekend of good Magic, with good prizes.
Yeah.
What could you want more?
Exactly. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll be back next Wednesday with more Modern action. In the meantime, keep playing Magic, keep playing Modern. We'll see you back here next week.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.